Special yesterday.
And watch at the halfway mark interference.
Street Ruffy in the inside first to bound out from King Marauding, who began brilliantly in the centre. Away fast as Black Rouge, going fast just behind them. High Chicago, Dark Boa. Over on the inside, starring a bit further back is Grey Man, followed by Ellie Shan from Durbridge and Plum Crazy. At 750 metres left to go. King Marauding in charge, a half-length. High Chicago, Street Ruffy in the inside. Ellie Shan making ground is just behind them. Grey Man followed by Gotti centre field. Black Rouge is on the inside of Durbridge and Dark Bow, followed by Starring and Plum Crazy. Up towards the home turn, 600 to go. King Marauding is the leader by a half-length to Ellie Shan, the outside. High Chicago. This leader skipped away on the home turn. King Marauding is out full of running, about 2 lengths to Ellie Shan. The others are struggling, headed by High Chicago. Back behind them, Durbridge is coming home well from a long way back, and they're followed by Gotti as they straighten up at King Marauding with a long break. Durbridge is down the outside running on, followed by High Chicago, and back behind them is Gotti. King Marauding's got a big break. Durbridge is starting to flash down the outside, but King Marauding's got a winning lead. He's stopping a bit near the line, but he's too good, King Marauding, and the 3-year-old King Marauding, he's down on the post to score 2.5 lengths to Durbridge. Yachty's run third.
But as Ellen going forward, then High Chicago, Yachty and Grey Man, then Durbridge followed by Dark Bow, Black Rouge and Starring and Plum Crazy, but the 3-year-old King Marauding at the 450 metre mark, straight away 2.5 in front before the turn now. Second placing at the moment is Elishan. Durbridge from a long way back from Yachty, then High Chicago, Black Rouge, and on the inside Street Ruffian, but King Marauding at the 200 metre mark. Oh, he's put 4 or 5 on them now. Durbridge running home late from Yachty, and then further back Starring, but the brilliant King Marauding all the way here. King Marauding wins the Manikato brilliantly by 3 lengths. Durbridge second, Yachty third.
Well, he lost nothing with King Marauding's win. His time was the fastest by any winning 3-year-old of the Manikato Stakes. There's been a few smart ones have won it. Vane, Century, Dual Choice. His is something special, Bruce. We shouldn't not acknowledge that. And he's going to go on and win more big sprints during the spring.
Yes, he looks out. That one. Let's go to the track yesterday and see this great horse win against another great horse, Two Chestnuts.
At the 1,000 metres mark, Dom Star led about a... They're going to sprint the last 500 only. Dom Star by about a head to Shaftesbury Avenue, taking closer order. Superimpose is cluttered up between horses coming around the turn. Mobile Peter on his outside, followed by Quick Score. Super's into the clear now. Straightening up, and Shaftesbury Avenue has pinched a break on them. On the outside, Superimpose and Quick Score putting in a dash, followed by Dom Star and Charday. Dittman getting to work on Shaftesbury Avenue. Quick Score and Superimpose on the outside. Can't reach him. Shaftesbury Avenue holding them safely, and Shaftesbury Avenue wins the Warwick Stakes by a length or a little more than a length to Superimpose. Quick Score third, followed by Charday.
He is a great horse. He's got a tremendous first-up record. His next run, we believe, Max, will be... Is it the Craiglie Stakes in Melbourne on September 12th? Is that what you heard yesterday?
His immediate future is in doubt because Bart Cummings, well, he was in Japan yesterday. There is a possibility, Anthony Cummings told Mick Dittman, that Shaftesbury Avenue, if weighted right, could run in the Epsom. Now, Superimpose, if weighted right, could also run in the Epsom. The AJC allow that match to escape. I'll be very, very, very surprised.
Max, terrific clash between two great horses, Shaftesbury Avenue and Superimpose.
For a long time, he's the best racehorse in Australia. But if he's got a great, well, if he's got anything on Superimpose, it's certainly only about a half length. The weight for age conditions of the Warwick Stakes yesterday suited Shaftesbury Avenue, made to order for Shaftesbury Avenue, were right against Superimpose, but to the end he was trying. I would like to see a return bout in the Epsom under handicap conditions, and I don't know whether the result would be the same.
See, I'm a big fan of Shaftesbury Avenue, Max, but obviously you haven't been at Flemington for the last couple of Australian Cups. Let's All Open, better loosen up. I'd like to see Let's All Open Shaftesbury Avenue flatten out with about a furlong to run at Flemington over a mile and a quarter.
OK, so would I. I'd like to... So the whole point of it...
200 metres and that...
Go to the Liston, see what you think of better loosen up. He is last. I didn't think he came down the hill all that well. It can be a tough hill to come down at Sandown. He hasn't won at 1400 for the Hayes stable. The winner was pretty impressive, and there are a couple of other easel runs, including Sub-Zero.
They're off. And Jim's mate, Heroicity, who's over on the outside of Deadly Addiction. A bit further back then came Sub-Zero, and they were followed by Brashy, and Citizen is well back in the field, and still last of all, Better Loosen Up. And he's 12 lengths off the leaders. They come up to the 600-metre mark where Jim's mate is doing it well. Leading about a length to Pressman's Choice, half a length to Purple Curse, the outside of Ramyard, just behind them, My Wandering Star. Beldivo at the head of the others, very wide, Big Colony, Heroicity, and a long way back in the field, Citizen as they straighten up with Sub-Zero and Better Loosen Up as well back. But Jim's mate has kicked away, coming coming to the 300 is out full of running. Led 3 lengths, My Brilliant Star running home well is now second, followed by Beldivo and Ramyar. My Wandering Star, Purple Curse and Wellback Citizen and Better Loosen Up as they come to the 100. Jim's Mate is starting to weaken. My Brilliant Star running on, but Jim's Mate is still nicely clear. He's got the list and won the New Zealander. Jim's Mate too good. Jim's Mate by a length to My Brilliant Star. A length and a half away third. Beldivo was a good run ahead of Ramyar fourth. My Wandering Star.
Keith, what did you think about the listen, and particularly Better Loosen Up, because everybody was interested in his return to the track?
So it was a run that satisfied David Hayes, Bruce, but he didn't really catch my eye. He finished 5 or 6 lengths from the winner, Jim's Mate, who carried 58.5 kilos yesterday and has 53 in the Cups, and that's why he's firm from 40 to 1 to 20 to 1. Wasn't a bad run. Jim's Mate...
Well, home, but he did run home, and it's a...
Yes. The big story was the Memsey Stakes yesterday. Let's go to Caulfield.
And grooming on the inside was the first into stride, and missing the start by 10 lengths is Starring. Starring's missed the start by 10 lengths, and railway side they race with about 850 to go, and Durbridge the leader. A half length to Naturalism, a length and a half Ivory Way on the inside of Kraken, back and Isla. They're followed by grooming on the inside of Acushla Marie, and going forward out 3 deep on the track, Mr. Eurostar. Star of the Realm is back behind them, being followed by Starring second last, and Graydon Gambler last of all at the 600. Durbridge being joined by Naturalism, and wider on the track is Isla. Ivory Way is just in behind them, followed by Kraken back and Mr. Eurostar, a length and a half. Acushla Maria taken around the outside. Star of the Realm being followed by grooming, Starring second last, and Graydon Gambler last of all as they straighten up. Durbridge on the inside being headed by Naturalism, and there together coming down towards the 250 on the outside. Naturalism has hit the front from Durbridge, Ivory Way, and further back then is Island. Down the outside is Star of the Realm, but Naturalism with a big break with 100 metres left to go. Star of the Realm is starting to fly home when the race is all over, but Naturalism is much too good and wins it brilliantly. Naturalism won the Sky Channel Memsey by 3 lengths to Star of the Realm. Durbridge is third.
Yes, as Keith mentioned, a Derby winner beating another Derby winner, and another Derby winner was third. Durbridge winning the AJC. They've seen a lot of Naturalism. In fact, until yesterday, you'd seen the best of Naturalism.
Yes, I do think Naturalism, though, Bruce, has been unlucky in Melbourne, and I wouldn't say that Naturalism is going to always have that much, shall we say, space to spare over Star of the Realm. I don't think there's a great deal between them. Perhaps yesterday Caulfield suited Naturalism more than Star of the Realm.
Your thoughts, Keith, on upcoming duels between these 2 4-year-olds?
I agree with Max, Bruce. I think that, especially when they get to Flemington, that the margin will be narrowed, may go the other way. Also, other big racing yesterday in New Zealand.
Watch for Naturalism, and we'll see what the market's doing in the Cups later. The Chelmsford yesterday. Let's go and have a look at the race, Max, and I'll get you to comment afterwards, because we have a head-on, and it shows some interesting occurrences over the last 100 metres. Here's the Chelmsford Superimpose looking quite unlucky.
Now they're picking up a little bit, and Barnya Boy increasing the tempo, got away by 2 to Dr. Grace, a length and a quarter to Superimpose, a neck away on the outside, Quick Score. Cassidy's going to try and hold him in behind those leaders, and 2.5 to Valdano, last of the 5 as they race down the side, 700 out. The leader is Barnya Boy. Dr. Grace sneaking closer, a length to Superimpose and a half to Quick Score on the outside, and about 3 to Valdano as they near the turn. This is a battle of tactics, and coming to the corner, Barnya Boy led over Dr. Grace. Quick Score on the outside, Superimpose on the fence as they turn for home, and Valdano last about 7 off the lead. Coming over the rise, Barnya Boy clear of Dr. Grace. Superimposes hemmed in on the fence. He's got nowhere to go, and now Quick Score called upon by Cassidy is coming out after the leader. Superimpose had to stop in his tracks, and they've left him standing. Quick Score headed Dr. Grace, who's fighting back. Old Super is getting going when it's all over. Dr. Grace fighting back. He's got Quick Score beaten, and Dr. Grace wins the Chelmsford by a head to Quick Score with Superimpose 30.
Good day for ex-AJC Derby winners yesterday, Max. They were everywhere, and Dr. Grace in particular in Sydney winning the Chelmsford. You've brought in the head-on over the last couple of 100 metres, and it shows a couple of interesting things. One, Superimpose obviously not being able to get a clear run, and Shane Dye having some problems on the winner.
Yes, his whip became tangled in the mane. He couldn't really get at Dr. Grace, but so over the latter stages, he just left the whip in the mane and then just slapped Dr. Grace down the shoulder. You can see that now. But certainly, Superimpose was the unlucky runner. Chris Muntz played the thimble and P, but he's got to be held up for a...
See what Max and Keith think after this.
Racing now. And Captain Cook on the inside was the first to jump out from all. 850 metres left to go, and Jim's Mate, the pilot, led by a length in advance here of Ramyar, a length and a half to Wheattail, Captain Cook and Prince Saleri just in behind them. They're followed closely over on the outside by Durbridge. Heroicity is very wide. Going forward, Famous Nick the centre. My Eagle Eye a long way back as Star of the Realm, followed by Sub-Zero and Grooming and Ivory Way as well back as they make the home turn. Jim's Mate is the leader as they straighten up with 450 left to go, tackled by Ramyar. Wheattail are running on pretty well down the outside, and Durbridge behind them. Heroicity. Captain Cook is a fair way back in the field, and Star of the Realm is starting to wind up from a fair way back, followed by Sub-Zero and Beldevo. 250 metres left to go. Jim's Mate on the inside being tackled by Ramyar. Wheattail getting into the clear is running on pretty well, followed by Durbridge, and here comes Star of the Grell, and look at Grooming. Grooming right down the outside. Ramyar hit the front, tackled by Star of the Realm. Star of the Realm takes the lead close to home. Flying home is Sub-Zero. Star of the Realm too good. Star of the Realm has won it from Sub-Zero. Third home probably Grooming, just ahead of Jim's Mate, Ramyar, Wheattail.
Well, 12 months of the day, Star of the Realm was balloted out of the Ascot Vale Stakes, couldn't get a run. He went on and won the Derby, and now he's won his first race at weight for age. I thought he looked terrific in the run because he struggled early, and the fact that he was able to get home. Did we see perhaps the Melbourne Cup winner there yesterday at Flemington in the Craigley Stakes?
Well, I think we may have, Bruce, and it may be any of the three place getters. I was very impressed with Star of the Realm. As you know, I'm a real Star of the Realm fan. But I watched him closely yesterday. He is now sharing favouritism, or near favourite, for the Caulfield Cup, and that's a race I don't think he can win. Later, when we have a look at the replay, you'll watch him just waddle a bit round the turn at Flemington.
Max,
I do think Sub-Zero would have had more scope for improvement, and certainly Grooming would have. It's what happens in the next couple of weeks, and I'd say
Ascot Vale was slightly down on previous years in terms of class, take nothing away from the winner. He came from what...
Into Spondula over on the outside, has worked his way to the lead by a half length to Mr. Elegant, a length and a half to King Marauding just behind them. They were followed by Surti and Ark Raj, and Q Gender's last as they race onto the course proper, where Spondula was the leader. Coming down to the 450, Spondula just in advance of Mr. Elegant. King Marauding looming up about 3 off the fence, and wider on the track. Just One is joining in. Primacy looking for a run behind them. Then Surti is running home pretty well from a fair way back, and Q Gent as they come down with about 250 to go. Spondula being tackled by Just One, and King Marauding got cut off at that point badly, and getting up along the inside. Primacy has now hit the front. Primacy is the leader, and here comes Q Gent from the rear and winding a big run. Primacy tackled by Q Gent down the outside. Primacy just in front. Q Gent lunged at it right on the post. Q Gent or Primacy in a photo. Just One third.
From Just One, then Primacy over on the rails, being followed by Star of Tristram, 2 lengths to Sir T, Kingston Spirit Watch, Arkraj well back, Vertingley's been passed by Quegent. They run down near the 300 metre mark now, and Spondula in front. King Marauding's under a lot of pressure. Just One coming at the leader, and Primacy getting up on the inside, well clear of Quegent. It's Primacy taking the lead with 100 to go from Just One. Quegent is finishing powerfully. Primacy in front, Quegent is picking him up. Primacy by a neck nearing the line, Quegent very close. Couldn't pick it between Primacy and Quegent, who put a big bound in on the post. Between
the big run, Keith, by Quegent, who's trained by the man behind Vo Rogue, Vic Rail.
Yes, Vic Rail was back in town. It was good to see him too, Bruce. And after the race, hard to say, he missed the start yesterday. He was still last at the 450 metres. It was a very good run. He'll go on, I think, so Vic does have another smart one in his camp. King Marauding was very disappointing.
Yeah,
had the run of the race and first beaten.
He hasn't got a good record up the straight. Cross and Star of the Realm are equal favourites for the Caulfield Cup, though Keith Hillier believes Star of the Realm could be a big risk at Caulfield. Naturalism, Royal Magic and Tennessee Jack are equal second favourites, and Mannerism has come in. And for the Melbourne Cup, it's still Viander Cross's favourite, though Grooming's been the big shortener here with Sub-Zero, and My Eagle Eye has held his place. And Star of the... Look at the race.
One of the stars from last season was the Sydney filly Burst, the first of her sex to win the 2-year-old Triple Crown. Trained by Clary Connors, Burst found winning form early in the season.
Into the straight, skating just led Burst on the outside. Mahia 3 deep is balanced up by Quinton as they turn for home. She lost a little bit of ground on the corner, however. Burst and skating fighting it out at the 200 mark, and they've come right away from Mahia, followed by Diamond Capri. Skating on the inside, Burst on the outer. They're 4 in front of Mahia. Burst and skating having a titanic tussle in the T-Rose Stakes. Burst has the head in front, and Burst fell in to beat skating about a long head. 5
by the third...
Their head on because there was a protest. Here's Muirfield Village with Superimpose, and watch Better Loosen Up. He's a pretty good run third.
500 out, Lord Revenue is joined by Play or Pay. Muirfield Village on the outside is under heavy pressure, turning the corner, followed by Chardet, and Superimpose is now pulled out into the clear by Chris Muntz, and the big horse is starting to wind up in the straight. 300 out, Play or Pay, tackled by Muirfield Village, who hits the front, coming to the 200, but here comes Superimpose down the outside, is coming after the 3-year-old. Muirfield Village is tackled by the big red horse. Superimpose on the outside, grabs the lead from Muirfield Village. Go Super. Oh, it's tight. Muirfield Village has kicked again. Muirfield Village kicked again. He might have worried Super out of it. There's very little in it.
And here is the head-on, Max, and there was a protest by Superimpose's jockey against Muirfield Village, and they do come very close together.
Yes, you'll note Muirfield Village and the Kingston Town colours start to drift out at this stage. He's drifting out, and you will see Superimpose coming in. Note the whip arm there of Muntz had to stop riding right on the post, well, just before the post, and that's what cost him the race. But nevertheless, put it this way, Muirfield Village did put him under considerable pressure, and it was a great race. The 3-year-old proved too good on the day.
Well, Keith, the extraordinary thing that happened yesterday in Sydney was that a horse who had his first start on July the 29th could beat 2 horses who, between them, have won $9 million in prize money. They're the greatest prize money winners in the history of racing here. Max Presnell was there. Muirfield Village, Max, have we seen something quite special here?
Oh, we've seen a very good horse, Bruce, a very promising horse. But we also saw a great horse in defeat, Superimpose. He was magnificent. I'm not taking anything away from the winner because he too is courageous. Muirfield Village is going on to the Spring Champion Stakes. He'll have plenty of opposition there, namely from a horse called Coronation Day. He is then going down to Melbourne, of course, for the Caulfield Guineas, and the current plan is for him to take on the Cox Plate 2 and clash with Naturalism.
Well, long memory, but I was a little more intrigued with
He win yesterday, and admittedly the class wasn't all that strong behind him, but he won like a very good horse.
Ramiara half-length, Naturalism on the outside, close handy, just behind them, My Brilliant Star. Then came Beldivo, further back in the field, Acushla Marie on the inside of Mr. Eurostar, and pulled wide there is Valdanoa, and Alpha Bell still last of all as they come up the school side with about 500 metres left to travel. Ramiara by a neck on Naturalism, looks to be going pretty well. The favourite over on the inside is My Brilliant Star running on. Back behind them, Beldivo, followed by Mr. Eurostar, Acushla Marie. Valdano second last, Alpha Bell last as they round the home turn. Naturalism racing up on the outside. Looks to be going very well. Naturalism almost level with Ramiara as they make the turn. They've got away by 2 lengths to My Brilliant Star, followed by Beldivo, and hard ridden next is Mr. Eurostar. But Naturalism has cruised away at the top of the straight. It's well clear by 3 lengths to Ramiara, running on My Brilliant Star, and then Beldivo, but it's all over. This will bolt in a very good horse, Naturalism, and coming down to the line to win untroubled. Naturalism's won it, getting up for second. Oh, very tight. Give it to My Brilliant Star, and nose to Ramiara.
Well, he was compared with Superimpose yesterday. In fact, Lee Friedman's already saying he's superior at weight for age, and he's close to being the best horse he's ever trained.
Last season, there just seemed to be a small chink in his armour, ever so small, because he was runner-up in several of the big ones. He seems to have shed that now, Bruce.
Keith, you were at Moonee Valley yesterday. You saw a horse who was very impressive, Naturalism, and arguably favourite for the Cox Plate at this early stage.
He probably is nominal favourite for the track championship, but a track that he's best at, Bruce. He's had 4 starts there. Naturalism for 3 wins. Yesterday's was his easiest. He absolutely thrashed his rivals. A very impressive win for the Japan Cup.
He's favourite now for the Melbourne Cup after yesterday.
Yeah, he's probably a worthy favourite too. He's doing more at this stage than any other rival, Bruce.
Well, Naturalism's the new favourite in front of Viander Cross, but as Keith said, just hold your pennies at the moment. It's a bit early. Star of the Realm, Tennessee Jack, who you've got to put a query on now because he's missed a couple of races. Grooming, Sub-Zero and My Eagle Eye. Let's have a look at the Underwood now. Prince Saleri's win.
Up past the 600-metre mark, Heroicity got nearly a length on. Jim's made a length to Prince Saleri. Ivory Way on the inside under some pressure, being followed by Sub-Zero. Grooming is next, being followed by My Eagle Eye, and last Delmar as they make the home turn, where Heroicity's being tackled by Prince Saleri, looming up on the outside, and Jim's mate is there in the centre as they straighten up. Jim's mate in the centre, coming at Heroicity, is battling on well. Deeper on the track, Prince Saleri, followed by Sub-Zero, Ivory Way, as they come down with 150 metres left to go. Prince Saleri's taken the lead, Sub-Zero coming after him, and they're followed by Grooming, but Prince Saleri's in front, close to home. He's got the race won. Prince Saleri broke through today for a good win. Prince Saleri, a length and a half, Sub-Zero. Delmar's run third.
Turn, 4.50 to go. Heroicity's going to turn just the leader to Jim's mate, Prince Salieri. Ivory Way looking for the run at them, and then Sub-Zero under pressure, followed by Grooming and My Eagle Eye coming to the centre of the course. In the straight now, and Jim's mate and Heroicity turn together. Prince Salieri challenging from Ivory Way, and then Sub-Zero at the 200 and past it now, and Prince Salieri got to the lead. Prince Salieri got a length in front of Sub-Zero. Jim's mate, Heroicity. Prince Salieri, is this a deserved win? Prince Salieri will go on and score by 2 lengths to Sub-Zero. Delmar's run third.
Sub-Zero on the second line of the Caulfield Cup, top line of the Melbourne Cup. Let's now go to the Caulfield on Thursday, Keith. The Underwood Stakes, normally a very good guide. I wonder if it will be this year to feature races later in the spring.
I thought it was lighter on quality this year than normal, Bruce, but Prince Salieri deserved...
I'll go to the Vic Health Cup. This was an extraordinary performance. She was on her nose at the 1200 Mannerism, had top weight. Well weighted, by the way, only giving Alias Commerbanch 3 kilos. But this is one of the runs of the spring.
And King Marauding's third last over on the inside of Majestic Boy, and Mannerism the favourite last of all as they race onto the railway side with 850 to go. Andy's Reward about a half length infallible, a length and a half further back now over on the rails. Alias Commerbanch and Black Rouge. Rare Chance in behind them, going forward Star Video, followed by Conchana, Tar Heel Boy, Soho Square, Mantelpiece. A gap to Vows, there followed by My Wandering Stars. They come up past the 600. Then Royal Snake, Holiday Lover, well back Majestic Boy, King Marauding and Mannerism still last of all as they round the home turn. 450 metres left to go. Andy's Reward being tackled by Infallible the centre. Looming up on the outside is Alias Commerbanch as they straighten up, followed by Tar Heel Boy and Black Rouge. Rare Chance behind them, Excited Angel. Star Video down the outside. Mannerism well back with Soho Square. Alias Commerbanch the leader coming down past the 200, tackled by Black Rouge on the outside, and Vows is running on well, and Mannerism right down the outside is coming from last. Black Rouge is the leader, 100 to go. Mannerism flying on the outside. Black Rouge just in front. Mannerism on the outside grabbing it. Mannerism, a huge run, has run it from Vows, and Black Rouge third, I fancy.
And Mannerism and King Marauding are at the tail of the field turning for home. Infallible hit the front at the bend. Coming after it now, Alias Commerbanch, and Alias Commerbanch first for home from Infallible. Then Black Rouge, followed by Rare Chance. Further back is Vows at the 200 metre mark. Alias Commerbanch grabbed now by Black Rouge. Black Rouge hit the front to Alias Commerbanch. Vows. Mannerism is flashing home. Black Rouge clear though. Mannerism runs to second. Black Rouge in front. Mannerism coming hard. Got there. Mannerism, what a run. Beat Black Rouge and Vows. Majestic Boy close
up in Sydney.
Yes, very special. Let's look and see what it's done to the Caulfield Cup. That was the show day cup of the Vic Health Cup, Mannerism's performance. A comment on it was quite extraordinary, wasn't it?
Glad we cut there because Mannerism was last in that picture, Bruce, and she got up to win after being knocked down. It was one of the most amazing performances you would see at a racetrack. She's into 10 to 1 for the Caulfield Cup, and I left the track on Thursday thinking I'd seen the Caulfield Cup winner in her. I don't think she can be beaten if she can stay a mile and a half. Yeah, it's not the first time you've left tracks thinking that something that won that day would win one of the cups, though, is it? No, it's not. You're going to disagree? Well, look and see what it's done to the Caulfield Cup market. Mannerism into 10 to 1 now from about 16s, 20s. Vianda Cross Royal Magic Star of the Realm, the favourites there. And in the Melbourne Cup, 3 equal favourites. Vianda Cross Grooming, who ran on Thursday Sub-Zero with Naturalism 8 to 1. But Tennessee Jack still well in the market. I just wonder whether he's missed the bus at this stage.
Sydney, the Australian Jockey Club Spring Carnival got underway with the running of the George Mayne Stakes. Emerging from a classy field which included Better Loosen Up on the comeback trail was one of the season's best 3-year-olds.
The corner field at the 800 mark in the George Mayne. Durbridge led, held together by 3/4 to Kinjate. A length to Dr. Grace on the inside of Telesto. A length to Rough Habit, followed by Coronation Day, who's cramped for room as they near the turn. And then Power Chief and Better Loosen Up. And back at the tail is Cabora. And still it's 7 lengths from first to last as they swing the corner. It's Durbridge in front. About a neck on Kinjate. Telesto 3 deep on the turn, followed by Dr. Grace. Coronation Day near the fence, and Rough Habit about to be switched out as they come over the rise. Kinjate headed Durbridge coming to the 200. Telesto is battling on. Then Dr. Grace, Coronation Day winding up, and further out Rough Habit. Coronation Day is coming after Kinjate with Rough Habit on the outside. Coronation Day coming at Kinjate. Larry Cassidy hard at work. Coronation Day poked his head in front as they hit the line, and Coronation Day won the George Mayne. Ahead to Kinjate with Rough Habit third.
Yes, Larry Cassidy will get off it, and Jim Cassidy now ride Coronation Day. Jim yesterday on Rough Habit. I think from yesterday, Keith, Durbridge not quite absolute silk. Dr. Grace, a very good run, and now a real query around Better Loosen Up.
Yes, Better Loosen Up after an encouraging run last start was an abstract failure yesterday, Bruce. he really is at the crossroads now, Max.
David Hayes commented after the race that perhaps in backing up Better Loosen Up mightn't have been a good idea. He said if Better...
Today, the George Main Coronation Day winning. Now, for the second consecutive week, we've seen a 3-year-old upstage the older horses. Does this mean that the weight for age scale is incorrect? The 3-year-olds are very good, or the older horses overrated? It's an easy one to start with, Max. Good luck.
Yes, well, I'm a supporter of the weight for age scale. I don't think the 3-year-olds are getting too much weight from the older horses. I do think an outstanding 3-year-old will beat a top-class older horse. That's the point. They've got to be outstanding. You get a second-rate 3-year-old, certainly wouldn't have performed as well as Coronation Day did yesterday and Muirfield Village the week before. The point is the 3-year-olds have got to have ability.
And they can also win the Cox Plate, Keith. We've seen that over the years. An outstanding 3-year-old. Red Anchor was long odds on to win. Surrounders won it. And I'm just wondering if either Coronation Day or Muirfield Village now go on and are very special, the potential's there, maybe the Naturalisms and the top weight for age horses are going to have their work cut out to hold them off at the weights in the Cox Plate.
It's shaping up as an exciting race, isn't it, and an exciting spring. They are...
Classics with the win in today's $250,000 Bill Stutt Stakes at Moonee Valley. Simon Marshall guided the chestnut to his 7th win from just 11 starts.
Marshall had the Kiwi youngster perfectly placed after King Marauding took the lead 800 out, and when he began to weaken on the turn, Bundy Ladd pounced quickly.
As they straighten up, King Marauding tackled quickly by Bundy Ladd on the outside, who bounded to the front. Shoeshine Henry over on the inside, finishing on, but Bundy Ladd was the leader halfway down the straight from Shoeshine Henry. Down the outside, Primacy and Palace Symphony from a long way back, but Bundy Ladd will be too good. Palace Symphony flying home too late. Bundy Ladd's won it. Bundy Ladd by a length to Palace Symphony, and Reading a very good run third.
The second leg of the...
Now start following the 3-year-olds win against the older horses. In the Spring Champion Stakes, Coronation Day clashed with the Cummings-trained Muirfield Village, who was coming off a win in the Group 2 Hill Stakes.
Try loser. Now Dittman's in a spot of bother here on Muirfield Village. He's got plenty of horse underneath him, but absolutely nowhere to go as they come around the corner. Pallet has pushed pretty deep on the turn, straightening up, and Takeshi put the head in front of Air Seattle. He's Classic is looming up on the outside. Salcantay under pressure. Coronation Day had to push Salcantay out of the way. He's into the clear, and here he comes. Coronation Day hit the front. Coronation Day dashed to the lead past the 200. Muirfield Village, after being held up for a run, is into the clear, but the bird has flown. Coronation Day is well clear. Cassidy keeping him going in this magnificent colt. Coronation Day won, easing up over Muirfield Village, who should have been closer.
Coronation Day's second Group 1 win was certainly impressive. Both 3-year-olds continued their spring campaigns in Melbourne. Run on the same day as the Flight Stakes, the first Group 1 race of the season for 3-year-old fillies. Shane Dye had ridden both Slight Chance and Burst in their first up wins and elected to stay with his Golden Slipper winner in the Flight.
To the corner, no defeat, the leader over Slight Chance. Yodelay is easing out 3 deep. Skating will have to go 4 wide on the corner. Burst is strung up for a run as they come around the turn, followed by Racing Ruler, and then Jewel of Africa and Fine Clip as they come over the rise where Slight Chance went to the lead. Burst is switching back to the fence. Yodelay boxing on and further out skating, but Slight Chance has got a good lead at the 200 mark, a length or more in front of Yodelay. Burst is coming between them, skating on the outside. Slight Chance still in front, 100 out. She's holding them at the moment. Burst inch by inch is getting to her, but Slight Chance is going to win the Flight. Slight Chance beat Burst. Shane Dye won't be too happy about that. Yodelay has run...
Centane, the sire of Slight Chance, recorded a Group 1 double within 40 minutes when Mick Dittman steered Kinja...
Bill Cooper over to his stand. Silk Ali, the inside runner, off and running in the... And then Big Dream, Superimpose, starting a forward move now. Dropping out second last as Mango's Luncheon. Let's have... Meters out, Prince of Praise led over Black Rouge. Destroyer's Image followed closely on the fence by Silk Ali. And then Southern States followed by Kabora. Kinjate being scrubbed hard by Dittman as they near the turn. Sensory Rain is under pressure. And then Palatine followed by Skylock and Superimpose in front of about 3. But is now switched to the outside by Chris Muntz as they come over the rise. He's got some hope. Superimpose as they top the hill. Prince of Praise still in front. Here's Kinjate claiming him now, followed by Southern States, Palatine and Superimpose right down the outside. Kinjate hit the lead in the Epsom. Kinjate in front of Prince of Praise, followed by Palatine. Superimpose feeling the big weight, but Kinjate, he's been a bridesmaid, but he's home today. Kinjate wins the Epsom over Prince of Praise. Palatine third, 4th Superimpose, 5th is Southern States, and 6th is Sensory Rain. Then Mango's Lunch.
Kinjate raced with distinction throughout the season. The Epsom
Naturalism moving in. My Brilliant Star is the inside runner. 900 metres out, and moving up on the outside, Heroicity's gone fast to take the lead from Ramio as they come up in the direction of the home turner. My Eagle 9 now third at the 800 metre mark, followed by My Brilliant Star. Naturalism coming into the picture, and they were followed next over on the inside by London Bridge, followed by Valdano, Fleet Dancer, Star at the Realm still a long way back, and he was followed by Mr. Eurostar, and wide on the track notwithstanding, and grooming last of all as they straighten up with about 500 to go. Again, Ramio moving up on the inside to join Heroicity. They're out by 2 lengths to My Eagle Eye. Naturalism is down the outside, running on well, being followed by My Brilliant Star. A long, long way back as Star of the Realm. 300 metres out, and here comes Naturalism. Naturalism has taken the lead from Heroicity, coming to the 200 in third place. My Eagle Eye, followed by London Bridge. Star of the Realm a long way back, but it's all Naturalism in the final stages. He's going to bolt in Naturalism, and Naturalism raced home to a great win. Naturalism was won by 3 lengths. London Bridge second, getting up for third, maybe Mr. Eurostar just ahead of Heroicity and Valdano, and further back to My Eagle Eye, followed by Star of the Realm, notwithstanding and grooming. Fleet Dancer, My Brilliant Star, and the last home is Ramia.
To go. Ramyar the inside on Heroicity will turn in front of My Eagle Eye. In fourth placing is Naturalism and the all-white, poised to have a crack at the leaders, followed by My Brilliant Star, London Bridge, and then Valdano, and Star of the Realm getting into the clear down the outside. 350 to go. Heroicity went to the lead. Marshall asked for Naturalism now, and he winds up, and at the 300 hit the front. It's Naturalism drawing away from Heroicity, then My Eagle Eye, London Bridge, and Star of the Realm is down the outside, but it's all Naturalism. He sprints away. He's put 4 lengths on them. London Bridge runs to second, but Naturalism, he scores in a breeze. Naturalism by 3 lengths to London Bridge, a photo third.
While Naturalism was winning at Flemington, his adversary from last autumn, Viandacross, showed that his spring campaign was progressing in the right direction with a stylish win at Hastings.
600 to go. Gatefree's the leader now by 2 lengths from Lord Majestic. Dancing Lord being urged along. Cavalier's next. Viandacross and Surfers Paradise. Conan's in a bit of a spot, followed by Castletown and Wire Times. They head for home now, and Lord Majestic's the leader from Gatefree's. Here come the challengers from Viandacross and Surfers Paradise, and Conan has got a split through for Greg Caird on the inside, might have got to the front. Here comes Viandacross with a big run. Conan, Viandacross, Lord Majestic, Castletown and Cavalieri. Surfers Paradise has disappeared. Viandacross and Conan there, the two. Viandacross pulling out a bit more, and he got there. Viandacross beat Conan and Castletown. Lord Majestic followed home then by Cavalieri.
First run in 1866, the Metropolitan is one of the oldest races on the Australian racing calendar. TJ Smith has won the Stayers race on several occasions, but there's no doubt that the result of this season's race made TJ a very proud man, and he didn't even train the winner.
Up tightly, 600 out as they near the turn. Sir Winston, the leader. In second place, Tiakau Nick is now under plenty of pressure from Dittman, followed by Mango's Lunch and then Oppressor. Donegal Mist behind those from Garter King, and then Strapping and Beatside as they come over the rise. Tiakau Nick has raced up to grab Sir Winston as they top the hill, and they're well clear. They're 4 in front of Mango's Lunch, followed by Strapping, Donegal Mist, and then Garter King. Tiakau Nick and Sir Winston are 5 in front of Donegal Mist. Tiakau Nick on the outside, and Nick in front. Sir Winston fighting on courageously. Nick Dittman shooting for the big double, drives Tiakau Nick to the line, and Tiakau Nick wins the Metropolitan. Sir Winston second. I think Beatside will get third, just in front of Tusk Hunter.
Tiakau Nick's Metropolitan win gave TJ's daughter Gay Waterhouse her first Group 1 training success. An honest and consistent performer.
The spring of '92 in Melbourne will long be remembered as one of the wettest on record, and the situation proved to be a headache for trainers preparing their spring horses.
We're still, it's Quarterban the leader. Quarterban in charge, a half-length Acquitted, followed by Mr. Eurostar. At the head of the others, then over on the inside is Ali Boy, Lane Shadow, followed further back by Delmar. Ivory Way, hard-ridden, notwithstanding, grooming the rails as they round the home turner. Quarterban tackled in earnest now by Acquitted as they come round the turn and they straighten up. They're 2 lengths ahead of Ali Boy, Lane Shadow. Mr. Eurostar, followed further back by Delmar. Acquitted on the outside, coming at Quarterban, who's battling on courageously. Quarterban on the inside, Acquitted. Acquitted's got his head in front of Quarterban with about 100 metres left to go. Acquitted is clear of Quarterban. Ali Boy running on well, followed by grooming, but it's Acquitted in front, close to home. Quarterban kicking back. Acquitted too strong. Acquitted a half length to Quarterban. Ali Boy is third.
Well, with Tommy Smith and his great record, surprisingly after the race, the horse he thought might win the Melbourne Cup was Tiakau Nick, trained by his daughter, Gay Waterhouse.
Bundy Lad's gone right around the outside to hit the front as they come up towards the home turn. Bundy Lad the leader. A length let him ride. Half a length further back, Ken Fair. Just one right around them, joining in now Palace Symphony from a long way back, and Palace Rain is getting a run on the inside. Captive Edition back behind them. They're followed by Shoeshine Henry, and further back in the field of Awesome Force as they make the home turn. Bundy Lad is the leader, tackled over on the outside by Palace Symphony and Palace Rain, and Just One. And over on the rails, Let Him Ride, followed by Shoeshine Henry and Captive Edition. But the leader, Palace Symphony, in front, tackled by Palace Rain. Palace Rain the outside, Palace Symphony are fighting it out. They're locked together from Shoeshine Henry and Captive Edition, coming home well from a long way back. Palace Rain hit the front in the Guineas, and Palace Rain will go on and score. Palace Rain will come home to win it. Palace Rain by a length and a half. Second home in the event would be Palace Symphony. Shoeshine Henry.
Go and Marshall took the New Zealander Bundy Lad to the lead from Let Him Ride. Just One is next, and Palace Symphony still running on round the outside. Then Palace Rain, Ken Fair, Captive Edition, and Shoeshine Henry next, getting up on the rails. Round the turn, Let Him Ride, grabbed by Bundy Lad. Palace Symphony on the outside, joining in, followed by Palace Rain and Just One. It's Palace Symphony dashing to the lead down towards the 200-metre mark from Bundy Lad. Palace Rain after Palace Symphony at the 200. It's Palace Symphony joined by Palace Rain. Palace Rain put his head in front, and they're well clear of Shoeshine Henry getting to third. It's Palace Rain on the outside, about a neck in front, pulling clear from Palace Symphony, and Palace Rain goes on to win it by a length to Palace Symphony. 4 lengths away third, Shoeshine Henry and O's Captive Edition.
The West Australian bred Palace Rain emulated his sire, Beau Sovereign, who had won the Guineas 21 years previously. The $400,000 classic was David Hayes and Michael Clark's first Group 1 winner of the season.
Persistent rain continued throughout Guineas Day. The weight for age Caulfield Stakes attracted several cup contenders, and the winner's effort had to be seen to be believed.
And last of all, and 5 lengths back, is Castletown. Gathano took the lead from Dr. Grace, but Mannerism looked to be travelling very well on the outside. Then Ramyar, followed by Sub-Zero and Heroicity on the rail. Gathano at the 400 turned in front of Mannerism, led by about a length around the turn, and then Ramyar in the centre. Dr. Grace is next, dropping out of it, followed by Heroicity. Gathano on the inside, Mannerism swung wide, Ramyar between them, down to the 200. Heroicity's running on okay. Mannerism took the lead at the 200-metre mark from Ramyar, fighting back. Mannerism racing about a bit. Ramyar's got a head in front, and Heroicity in the centre. It's Mannerism, and look at Castletown. He's swooping them. Castletown from last. Mannerism, Heroicity, but Castletown, what a run. Castletown has got up to win it on the outside from Heroicity, Ramyar.
Leader now is Gathano. Gathano takes the lead by a length. The Mannerism running on. Dr. Grace can't go on at the moment. Fourth then Ramyar. They're followed by Sub-Zero, Heroicity. Kinjite dropping out of it. Castletown last as they come around the home turn. Gathano is the leader. Mannerism's about 6 off the rail as they straighten up, and Gathano is the leader. Mannerism down the outside. Ramyar's running a bit of a race, and further back is Heroicity, followed by Dr. Grace at the 200. Gathano tackled by Ramyar, and deeper on the track is Mannerism, who's starting to paddle a bit, and here comes Heroicity. Heroicity finishing on strongly as they come to the 100. Ramyar and Castletown storming home down the outside. Ramyar, Castletown grabbing them. Castletown's come from last to win the Caulfield Stakes. From Heroicity, third home Ramyar.
Well, Castletown was so far back at the halfway mark that his rider, Noel Harris, considered pulling him up. Now, I suppose, Max, he's in the Cups with a winning chance.
Well, he's got to have a winning chance, Keith, because the conditions next Saturday could well be a duplicate of what Castletown went through yesterday. I thought Mannerism was a shade disappointing. I realise that she isn't seasoned enough for the 2,000 metres under the sloppy conditions yesterday, but if she's not seasoned enough yesterday for 2,000 metres, Caulfield Cup 2,400 metres, will she be seasoned enough for that? I'd have grave doubts.
Yes, good.
A winner of 3 3,200-metre Cup races, Castletown's win in the Caulfield Stakes was his 5th at Group 1 level.
As the condition of the track deteriorated, punters were finding it difficult to line up the form. One horse who relished the heavy going was Ready to Explode, who turned the Toorak handicap into a one-act affair.
They've gone past the 600. Jim's mate joined on the inside by Ready to Explode, and they're 5 lengths in front now from Starring, running on with Just Tommy. Soho Square hard ridden. Next Mamsey Purdue, Prince Salieri, and then came Excited Angel, followed by Infallible, and then Citizen on the turn, and Ready to Explode straightened up by 3 lengths into the straight from Jim's mate beaten. Prince Salieri running on along the fence, and then Starring, Mamsey Purdue, Just Tommy squeezed for room, and Excited Angel out wide, but Ready to Explode has a huge lead He's 5 lengths in front of Prince Salieri and Excited Angel. Ready to Explode. He's found form today. He's well clear and he's going to bolt in. Ready to Explode's won it by about 5 lengths on the post. Excited Angel. Third, Prince Salieri. Then Infallible Dark Czar.
Carrying a lightweight and enjoying the track conditions, ready to...
Fast as they round the home turn, 400 metres left to go. Ready to Explode takes the lead in the Touareg and got away. Ready to Explode, 2.5 lengths clear of Jim's mate. Prince Salieri running on well down the inside and further back than is starring from a long way back. Mamselle Patou. Excited Angel deep on the track, followed then at the head of the others by Infallible, but Ready to Explode 6 lengths ahead of Prince Salieri with 100 to go. Excited Angel running on. Dark Czar from a long way back, but Ready to Explode will bolt in. Ready to Explode won the Touareg by 5 lengths. Excited Angel. Prince Salieri third.
Well, Ready to Explode third in the Derby last year, but he hadn't fired a shot since. The race is often a good guide to the Caulfield Cup. Was yesterday's event a guide, Max?
I wouldn't think so, Keith, but there again, were any of the races yesterday a guide? All we can say is that similar conditions, you're looking for the old war horses. I thought Prince Salieri...
Viander Cross the favourite. Castletown, yesterday's winner, finished nearly 3 lengths behind Viander Cross at their last meeting, but Castletown now on the second line of betting with Royal Magic. So the top trio are all New Zealanders.
First of all, let's have a look at the Melbourne Cup, Max. I know you want to add to his collection. Right. Castletown and Viander Cross at 5s.
And Sub-Zero, he'll be better suited under handicap conditions. He's on the second line ahead of...
Champion Gallop...
Conditions, he's on the second line ahead of...
Champion Gallopers Superimpose tuned up for another crack at the Melbourne Cup with an effortless win in today's Canberra Cup. The mighty 8-year-old gave Mick Dittman an armchair ride, and he'll now go into the Cox Plate before possibly running his last race in the big one. The prospect of seeing one of Australia's greatest gallopers saw a big crowd flock to the track. And
the Freedmans had trained their first winner back in 1979. The way they take old pugs back to the stadium to say goodbye.
Then Balance of Power, followed by Flagstaff, Galilee, and Hot Fishes last of all. But around the bend, 4.25 to go, and Beachside has raced to the lead now. Beachside leads All Lone Star. Superimpose moves up on the outside quickly now, and further back to Flagstaff, followed further back then Balance of Power. But Superimpose is shot away from them now. Superimpose kicked well clear. Beachside is second, followed by Flagstaff down the outside, and the next one, Balance of Power. But the champion, Superimpose, is racing away. Look at Superimpose, ease down on the line, and Superimpose wins the Cup. Galilee second, close for third. Ladies and gentlemen, we've witnessed a magnificent win here this afternoon by this great champion, Superimpose. And on behalf of the club, would like to thank the connections and the trainer for giving us the chance to see this great horse win the 1992. Ladies and gentlemen, Superimpose, Mick Dittman. And what a great thrill for the Canberra racegoers and for all those visitors here at the magnificent galloper, who's now in the twilight of his career.
So it was a fitting finish to a glorious career. Fitting? Finish? Get out of here.
Azuro. To the outside from Tontonay, then Slight Chance pulled out very deep, followed by Sparky Miss out, Trista Light, Googs, Dream, Astute Angel and Racing Dream. 600 out and Burst has gone up now with on the outside Love Comes to Town. Love Comes to Town on the outside, got to the front now from Burst, followed by Azuro. Slight Chances back midfield and skating in trouble. Love Comes to Town first for home. After it is Azuro from Burst over on the inside, battling on, and then Doe keeping further back, Reva Diva. Love Comes to Town in front of the 300. Azuro's going to be the danger from Burst, getting up on the fence. On the outside, Azuro gets up to Love Comes to Town from Burst, Doe keeping, then Slight Chance and Reva Diva. Azuro's got its head in front of the 100-metre mark now from Love Comes to Town and Burst. The Victorian filly takes the Guineas though. Azuro comes away a length. Love Comes to Town, 2 to Burst third.
Night. Skating has lost when the sprint came, and Slight Chances well back into the straight. Love Comes to Town about to be tackled by Azuro. Burst fighting back on the inside rail, clear of Doe Keep and then Reva Diva. Azuro raced up to Love Comes to Town, 200 left to go, clear of Burst. Azuro and Love Comes to Town. Azuro's going home the better, the Melbourne filly drawing away from Love Comes to Town, and it's Azuro going on to win it by a length to Love Comes to Town. Burst is third. They were
wins from 10 starts.
They were followed in by Doe.
Making it 7 wins from 10 starts. Azuro was too strong for the class field of fillies.
Lee Freedman again in the Griffiths family with Azuro, and the best quote of the year in racing. Shane Dye abused Stephen King after that race. Dye was on Slight Chance, King on Reva Diva. He abused King for riding too wide on Reva Diva. Well, he must have taken something out of the King book, because he...
Win yesterday was fantastic.
Two other very good horses went round in a controversial race on Wednesday. Controversial for lots of reasons. The match race, $75,000, winner take all. Let's go to the race on.
Action on Guineas Day at Caulfield was the match race between Let's Elope and Better Loosen Up. Not since 1970, when Big Faloo beat Rain Lover at Flemington, had there been a two-horse race on a metropolitan track. Carrying prize money of $75,000, the TAB Super Challenge was a promotional success.
The VATC committee agreed to run the match race at Caulfield, and it created tremendous interest. And my jockey, I've forgotten, was suspended, I believe, at the time. Anyway, Mick Dittman was available, and
They go to the 750-metre mark, and the sprint is on now. And it's Better Loosen Up about a half in front. The mare on the outside, back second. Let's Elope. Dittman about to call on, and now she's getting closer to Better Loosen Up. It's a battle coming up at the 600-metre mark. She's gone up to Better Loosen Up, and she's put her head in front. And they're both. It's a real war before the turn. 500 to go. Real war before the turn. 500 to go. Let's Elope on the outside, getting a half length in front. He gives her a crack with a whip. Clark calling on the old warrior back on the inside. Better Loosen Up down to the 300-metre mark. Let's Elope's drawn a half length in front. Better Loosen Up is trying to come back on the inside. Let's Elope's the neck in front at the 150-metre mark. Better Loosen Up trying with every stride, but the mare's got the edge near the line. Dittman throws everything at her, and Let's Elope wins the challenge a length and a half. To Better Loosen Up. To Better Loosen Up. A marvellous performance by two great horses here in the TAB Super Challenge.
Let's Elope going a little bit better than Better Loosen Up at the 200-metre mark, but the champion's fighting back on the rail. Let's Elope about a neck in front of Better Loosen Up. He won't let the mare get too far in front, but she'll be too good in the run home. And Let's Elope wins it by a length and a half to Better Loosen Up. A great challenge between two great racehorses.
Well, Brian Martin summed it up very well. Two great horses. It was a bit of a shame to see Better Loosen Up, who is struggling. He's not nearly the horse he was. He's been an all-time favourite, a tremendous horse. But I think there's hope for Let's Elope. There's definite hope, and whether she can win the Cox Plate, do we know who's going to ride her at this stage?
No, and 5-year-old Mannerism joined some of the great mares of the turf this afternoon when she gallantly won the $1 million Foster's Caulfield Cup. Brilliantly ridden by Damien Oliver, Mannerism came from behind to edge out the heavily backed favourite, Viander Cross. Sandy Roberts reports.
Friedman had a record 5 starters in the big race. His top fancy, Herosity, was crying out for a dry track. Another, the gallant little mare Mannerism, was his sentimental hope. Punters, though, couldn't get enough of Viander Cross, and the New Zealand gelding was heavily backed to win at his first start in Melbourne.
Heroicity missed it about a length or so. Regal Sea threw his head in the air. Viander Cross a fraction slow, and he snagged back at the rear early with Castletown. Ramyar first out from Gathano, Tiako, Nick and Dark Czar all prominent with Sub-Zero. Acquitted is out very wide, heading up towards the front runners as they thunder the post the first time. Gathano took it up from Tiako, Nick and followed by Star of the Realm. He is hard ridden at the moment, going up on the outside of him, Viander Cross, followed by 2 lengths back, Regal Sea and Castletown. 900 left to go onto the railway side. Gathano in front of Acquitted. A length and a half to Dark Czar. Tiako Nickers had a good run, fourth the inside, and then came Heroicity and Ramyar the outside. They were followed by Dr. Grace, Sub-Zero, Mannerism starring. Viander Cross hard ridden about 8 lengths from the leader out wide. Viander Cross hard ridden about 8 lengths from the leader out wide, and then came further back My Brilliant Star. Royal Magic going nowhere at the moment, and Star of the Realm is back second last as Gathano led to the turn. Acquitted a length away, followed by Dark Czar, Mannerism. Here comes Viander Cross. Viander Cross is coming with a great burst out wide. They sweep for home now. Gathano on the inside. Viander Cross has come very wide after him, and they were followed by Mannerism coming home well, and then came Acquitted. It's Viander Cross out wide, Gathano near the inside, and Mannerism in the centre. Clear of Acquitted. Viander Cross the outside has taken the lead in the cup now from Mannerism, and then Gathano and Acquitted. Viander Cross in front of Mannerism. Viander Cross answering the urgings of Shane Dyer, head in front. Mannerism coming at him. Viander Cross maybe a nose to Mannerism, who's booted right on the line and made it close. Acquitted next from Sub-Zero, and then Gathano.
The horse wide on the turn and headed for home.
Viander Cross is sweeping right around the outside off the track when they turn. The leader, Gathano, from Mannerism and Vianda Cross coming down the outside in the home straight and starring back on the rail at the 250-metre mark, and Vianda Cross. Vianda Cross, the Kiwi, has hit the front out wide from Gatherer. Mannerism coming with a run in the middle, but at the 100-metre mark, and Shane Dye going for home on Vianda Cross. He's in front of Mannerism, starting to peg it back. Vianda Cross, Mannerism down to the post. Vianda Cross, Mannerism. Oh, golly, I don't know. Vianda Cross, Mannerism, nothing in it. 2 lengths away, third in the race is Acquitted.
A patient but brilliant ride by apprentice Damien Oliver enabled the battling little mare to wear down Vianda Cross and score victory by only a nose. And
Lee Friedman's incredible spring can...
Close. Acquitted next from Sub-Zero, and then Gathano, followed by Royal Magic.
A tight photo went Mannerism's way. A high-class mare, this her 4th Group 1 win, adding to the Australasian Oaks Futurity and Vic Health Cups. And a big rap from her trainer.
I mean, I've long maintained that there's not much between Let's Elope and her when she's right, and I think she proved that today. She carried a bit of weight. First time over the 2-4 since she was a 3-year-old, and it took a great racehorse to win that.
Well, in the long history of the Caulfield Cup, I doubt whether any one ride has been discussed quite so much as Shane Dye's after the race.
Well, I wouldn't have taken off as soon in the Caulfield Cup. I went a bit soon, but going wide, I'd go that wide every day because the track was better out there. But I didn't know the horse, and I'd never ridden the horse, and he had a flat spot that day, and at the half mile he was off the bit, and I dug him up, and he got there far too soon, which caught me by surprise.
Can you remember, between you've been going to the races for a fair while, such a reaction to a ride?
I can't, Bruce. Shane Dye was universally criticised yesterday. I really don't want to join the Shane Dye bashing this morning, but I suppose you must say it was deserved, because I think Shane made errors of judgment that cost Vianda Cross a Caulfield Cup. It wasn't Shane's day. It started off with stewards.
Can't recall any sportsman being roasted as much for an error in judgment as Shane Dye. He was beaten a short half head. Personally, I thought Vianda Cross should have won the race, possibly by half, 3/4 of a length. Nevertheless, that's me sitting in the stand. Shane this morning is totally unrepentant. He thinks he's done the right thing. If he had to ride the race again, he would do that again.
Mannerism was magnificent yesterday. We shouldn't take anything away from her. In the last 40 years, there have been 8 mares have won the Cup. She carried 2.5 kilos more yesterday than Leilani and How Now. 6 kilos more than Let's Elope. She carried more weight than any other mare in the last 40 years. She is outstanding. It was a brilliant ride. He's a great trainer, and she's a great horse. And briefly, Sub-Zero, Royal Magic, and the other horse, Castletown, from a Melbourne Cup point of view. Your thoughts, Max, on those 3? Because they looked outstanding behind Vianda Cross.
Vianda Cross, I would say, was one of the best Melbourne Cup trials I've ever seen. Sub-Zero, reasonable. Castletown, perhaps too old. Royal Magic got stuck in the bad ground. A very, very good run. Again, without wanting to stress too much on Shane Dye said that Lance O'Sullivan said to him after the race, "If only I was out on the ground where you were." So that's another point. But I do think you can't take any...
At Caulfield, before we discuss them, let's have a look at the first of them that we're going to show you this morning. A remarkable performance by Rough Habit, and this was the race that Jim Cassidy jumped off Rough Habit and put his hand up to ride Vianda Cross in the Melbourne Cup. He brought this one home for John Wheeler from the very back of the field.
They're racing up past the 800-metre mark now. Instrumental a half length of Friends Venture. Rare Chances in behind them, being followed by Black Rouge and Tar Heel Boy. A length and a half making ground now as Southern States over on the inside of Pay the Kings. Bow Aaron back behind them, Palm Beach, Everton Shiva. And Half Axter's right off the track as they come up towards the home turn. Colonial Spirit. Rough Habit's about 6 lengths behind the third last horse. He's second last. And in a seemingly impossible position, the favourite Rough Habit, as they make the home turn at the 400. And the leader's heading towards the outside section of the track. It's Instrumental being tackled by Friends Venture on the outside. Southern States in the centre coming through. And over on the outside is Rare Chance. And back behind them then is Black Rouge. And now Rough Habit on the inside is starting to come through with a strong run. Instrumental over on the outside. And Rare Chance and Rough Habit. Look at Rough Habit and Palm Beach flying home. White on the outside there is Rare Chance. But Rough Habit over on the inside is absolutely flying home as they go to the line. And Rough Habit, I think's won. What a run. Rough Habit, I think, is just beaten Rare Chance. They're very wide apart.
On to race 7, a very important race for Rough Habit. Having missed work through a girth rash, this is a badly needed run in preparation for next Saturday's Cox Plate. But at the turn, he was a long second last,
and then unwound one of the biggest runs in years at Caulfield.
Side, and Rough Habit is still second last, turning for home, where Instrumental and Friends Venture turn in front of Southern States, and then Rare Chance followed by Black Rouge. Instrumental in front, down nearing the 200-metre mark now from Southern States. After it along the inside, Rare Chance and Friends Venture out wide. It's now Rare Chance out wide taking the lead. Rough Habit is getting right through along the inside. Have a look at this. Rough Habit, Rare Chance wide apart. Rough Habit on the inside. He's got there. Unbelievable. Rough Habit's won it from Rare.
How did you feel at the 800-metre mark last and looking hopeless?
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of confidence.
What did you think had gone wrong?
I don't know. I just thought, well, he may not be hitting out. There may be something wrong with him, you know, but Jimmy was going to ride him quiet, and that's what he did. But he is a good horse, you know.
Very popular win.
Yeah, it was.
Now, the end across...
A ride by Jim Cassidy. I think, gentlemen, what a horse. He is a beauty, isn't he?
He's a fantastic horse, and he's had so many problems with rashes, and even as late as yesterday, Bruce, he had swelling on a hock. And trainer John Wheeler believes that some of the rash problems and that sort of thing may have stemmed from his inoculations to go to Japan, as they did last year.
Well, he's won 8 out of 10 now at 1,400 metres, Max, yet we tend to think of him more as a middle-distance fast stayer. What's your feeling? And I'm thinking Cox Plate with him.
Oh, Bruce, Rough Habit is a racehorse. He's the sort of horse that the man from Snowy River would have liked to have ridden. He'll give his all. He certainly has had an uninterrupted preparation. On the preparation, you really, I can't get enthusiastic about him in the Cox Plate, but John Wheeler said yesterday, every time I ask this horse for a little bit extra, I've got to ask him for a little bit extra in a gallop on Tuesday, I've got to ask him for a lot extra in the Cox Plate, he gives it to me.
He's produced some remarkable... He might need the sting out of the ground too.
He might, Bruce, and those setbacks in his preparation, they are he was able to win yesterday with a big weight and against lesser opposition, but I wonder whether he could do it next Saturday in the Cox Plate.
Don't forget, he is a racehorse, though. He is a racehorse. He's got the heart. He's got the will to win. I would say all the theory says no, but you won't be telling that to Rough Habit halfway down the straight.
Well, he's a heart attack.
The betting for the Melbourne Cup. Vienna Cross at 4-1. That's about the price Let's Elope ran at last year. Sub-Zero 7s, Castletown 10, London Bridge 12, Heroicity 15, and we've just picked out 2 of the big names, Let's Elope and Superimpose, 20s and 25-1. Well, it was the Cox Plate. Well, it was the Cox Plate.
Reserve my decision, but if wet, Naturalism, if dry, Coronation Day.
Okay, I was going to say, Keith, just for you, you can tell us next Sunday who your tip is. Max?
Naturalism.
Really? I thought you might be a Coronation Day man.
Well, Naturalism's got the score on the board, wet or dry, a very, very good horse, will be very hard to beat, and certainly Coronation Day is outstanding, but has got to prove he can get around Melbourne, can handle the wet, can do a lot of things down here. Naturalism answers them all.
And today's...
The Moya Stakes yesterday, this is a long way away from the Melbourne Cup, weight for age over 1,000, brought together Clan O'Sullivan, Mukta, the 2 3-year-olds, and Scalachi, and this was some run, and this is some racehorse.
Off. Scalachi on the outside was first out in company there with Vain Sovereign last of all. Barcara, Scalachi together coming down past the 600 by length. Illusion, half a length away the inside to Mukhtar. A length and a half of Bassi on the outside of Sublimate. Classic Magic, Noble Lancer wide. A good long gap to Clan O'Sullivan over on the outside, followed by Sonic Express behind the Mr. Cube, Umatilla and Vain Sovereign. They're making the home turn. Barcara tackled by Scalachi, who's got his head in front as they straighten up the favourite Scalachi. Half a length to Barcara, 2 lengths to Mukhtar, and they're followed by Solution, and back behind them Sublimate. But it's Scalachi in front, halfway down the running is clear of Barcara and Mukhtar finishing on. But Scalachi, too brilliant for them. He'll win. Scalachi wins it well. Second home Mukhtar, third Barcara.
Fans. 450 out the leader, Barcara neck in front. Scalachi's bolted up to him second on the outside. A length and a half to Mutkar, followed further back by Solution the outside. 2 or 3 Sublimate, and then further back Umatilla. Oliver gave the favourite his head now, Scalachi, when they turned for home. He drew a half length in front now of Barcara, 3 further back Mutkar. But the big grey horse is going for the minion, and he's got it. He's racing away. Scalachi races away to win by nearly 2 lengths. Mutkar got up to run second. A nose away third Barcara. Then on the...
Well, you've got to put him at the top of the tree now. He's in rarefied class. He's up there with the greats of sprinters, no doubt about that. Clan O'Sullivan. I'll get back to Scalachi in a moment because I want to comment from you, Keith, on him. Scalachi?
I think I really should apologise to the connections of Scalachi for not selecting him yesterday. I'll never do it again. They were very fast horses in that race. He bounced in front, he toyed with the opposition, he was eased up on the line. He's one of the best sprinters, maybe the best since Vane. He's fantastic.
You rate him with Manikato and Placid Arc?
Yes, I do. Ahead of Placid Arc and rivalling Manikato. He is a very good horse, Bruce.
Gee, Lee Friedman will be pleased, because remember the day after the Lightning he said this might be another Manikato, and I was one of many that said, Lee, hang on, you're going a bit too fast too quickly.
Yes.
Bruce, how long is it since you came across a horse that might even be too good for Australia? There's just isn't anything for Scalachi
That's the problem with the programming. Basically, he runs either in the Gadsden, where he'll get the grandstand, or the Linlithgow, and all he can run in the autumn is the William Reid in Melbourne and the Lightning. Too much weight in the other race, and then has to go up to...
Go to America, and he'll lick them there too if he does.
He's super, no doubt about that.
Yes. Run over 2,600 metres, the Group 2 Moonee Valley Cup attracted several cup contenders.
Up towards the home turn. Fra takes the lead from NASA Rocket in the Cup now. They've kicked away. In third place, running on Donegal Mist, Cross Swords, Mountain Rule around the outsiders, finishing strongly. At the head of the others, Beachside. Quarterband can't go on. Nork and Cavalieri as they straighten up. Fra the leader, tackled by NASA Rocket. Cross Swords the outside. Cross Swords on the outside. Donegal Mist the centre, halfway down the running. Donegal Mist put his head in front of Cross Swords, and down the outside is Mountain Rule. Donegal Mist is the leader, close to home from Cross Swords, and Fra battling on. Donegal Mist will win the Cup. Donegal Mist has won it from Cross Swords. Fra third.
Australia's champion sprinter Scalachi.
Fitting. Finish. Get out of here.
Malaysia's Weight for Age Classic. The quality of this season's field can be gauged by the fact that between them, the 14 starters had earned prize money exceeding $27 million. From a race full of drama and excitement emerged a true legend of the Australian turf.
Calls. Naturalism is still paying $2.10, odds of 10 to 9. Let's Elope is now out to 5 to 1, and currently to 2. There's about 2 or 3
for this great race. Arguably the best collection of weight for age horses seen ever in the WS Cox Plate.
Plate. They're off. And Superimpose missed it about a length and a half, and away brilliantly here. Kinjite flying from the outside with Coronation Day. Slight chance going up in the centre. Naturalism behind them with Palace Rain. And here's the filly Burst down the outside. She's going forward down to the winning post the first time. Muirfield Village out wide. Let's Elope back in the centre as they steady with 1,700 to go. And Kinjite led down from Burst second. Coronation Day third inside. Slight chance fourth a length. Naturalism fifth on the inside. Outside it Palace Rain. Muirfield Village out four wide around Citizen. Let's Elope had to check there over on the inside. Mannerism from Prince Salieri. Then came Superimpose, two to better loosen up, and Rough Habit last of all. 1,400 to go on the plate, and Slight Chance took up the running. Slight Chance the leader now from Kinjite, who comes off the fence. They're followed by Burst and Coronation Day the rail. Then Palace Rain fifth. Naturalism running sixth on the inside. Muirfield Village out three deep around Citizen. They're followed by Mannerism further back. Then Let's Elope out three deep around the outside of Prince Salieri. Two to Superimpose, third last, second last to the Cox Plate at the 1,000-metre mark now as better loosen up. And Rough Habit the Kiwi last of all. Kinjite goes up to Slight Chance at the 900-metre mark, a length and a half Burst. Coronation Day getting a nice run, a half away, fourth on the rail. Then Palace Rain, Muirfield Village. Naturalism is locked away on the inside now as they start to make their run. The mare pulls to the outside, Let's Elope around Citizen. Mannerism went back to the fence. Old Superimpose peeling to the outside with better loosen up. There's a fall! There's a fall in the Cox Plate. And Naturalism lost the rider. Citizen is out of the race, and so is Palace Rain. Rough Habit has been knocked out of it now. And as the race to the 500-metre mark now, and the leader here is Kinjite. Here comes Let's Elope. Let's Elope with a mighty run out wide, going up quickly now. Kinjite in the middle from Muirfield Village, followed by Superimpose. Let's Elope out wide as race to Kinjite. Slight Chance fights back down the outside. Superimpose. Let's Elope in the middle. Prince Salieri getting a run. Better loosen up and Superimpose. Let's Elope in front. Superimpose driving. Super. I think Super and O's to Let's Elope on the Cox Plate. Third maybe Kinjite the rail. Better loosen up behind them. They're followed by Slight Chance.
Palace Rain, Coronation Day as they pack right up coming down the school side. 650 to go, and here come the challengers at the fall. There's a fall. Citizen is down. Citizen is down, and what's the other one? Oh, it could be Naturalism may have come down. Citizen, Naturalism, the two to come down in a fall. Round the turn they come. Kinjite as the leader, tackled by Muirfield Village, and Slight Chance still there, and here comes Let's Elope. Let's Elope on the outside, joining in, followed by Coronation Day and Mannerism, nowhere to go. Slight chance, Kinchate lead into the straight. Let's Elope down the outside is flying home, and down the outside, Superimpose, followed by Primacy. Halfway down the running, Let's Elope takes the lead in the Cox Plate. Superimpose flying home, Let's Elope, Superimpose, Let's Elope, and Superimpose won the Cox Plate from Let's Elope. Kinchate third, fourth, Better Loosen Up, slight chance, Primacy. Further back, Coronation Day, followed by
gets to Let's Elope in the very last 2 bounds, and Super Duper has got there in 1992 to win the Cox Plate, and what a great run the third.
Second last is Better Loosen Up as they bunch up down the side, and Rough Habit. They come down with 700 to go, and still Kinchate a narrow leader. There's a fall. Palace Rain has come down. Oh, Naturalism's lost the rider. Naturalism has lost the rider, and Citizen's gone as well with Palace Rain. Running to the home turn now, and Kinchate just in front of Slight Chance. Here comes Let's Elope. The mighty mare's coming with a big run round the outside. They turn now, and it's Let's Elope out wide. Kinchate and Slight Chance in front of Muirfield Village. They're into the straight. Let's Elope out wide, getting to Kinchate, Slight Chance. Here comes Superimpose now. Let's Elope in front, Superimpose and Better Loosen Up. It's Let's Elope in front, Super coming at her. They hit it, might be Super and O's. Let's Elope, nothing in it with Kinchate.
It was rough, and Superimpose prevailed.
Mannerism in.
At last, recognition of his true greatness in this, his hometown, his first ever Group 1 win. It was Greg Hall's finest hour, his first ever ride on Super.
They call it the Cox Plate, mate, where legends are made, and that's what's happened today.
It was just one of the great Cox Plates, I think. It reminded me of the Bone Crusher finish, you know.
But the tragedy for...
That was probably the best performance I've ever seen from him, to lift like that over the last 50 metres.
Test, though, by the 5th place horse Better Loosen Up against the 2nd place getter Let's Elope was upheld. So Let's Elope, second past the post, was relegated to 5th.
The 8-year-old's first Group 1 success in Melbourne was also the 8th of his outstanding career. With his victory in the Cox Plate, Super lifted his career earnings to $5.6 million and became Australasia's highest ever stakes winner. The drama continued after the race as Simon Marshall, the rider of Better Loosen Up, protested successfully against the runner-up Let's Elope.
How do you think I felt? It's one stage in my life I never wanted to come back to scale, knowing that you know, Better Loosen Up should have won with me on him. I got a squeeze on the point. I had a look up ahead of me. I had a good 2.5 to 3 horses room, maybe even 4, to go inside Let's Elope. Let's Elope's then come in, shifted in rather quick, you know, very quick. I wasn't quite able to get up inside her, and she just chopped me out, and to tell you the truth, I thought we were going to fall.
His effort in the Cox Plate was superb. He went on a very...
Greatest moment in racing. It was a joy to see you there yesterday, Greg, after the Cox Plate. It was magnificent, Keith. I don't think I've seen a rider come back to such acclaim, and the way he just stood up in the irons, it was fantastic.
Greg was jubilant, and so he should have been, because Cox Plate, Superimpose, is Australia's favourite racehorse. He was at long odds yesterday, Bruce, but that didn't stop the fans giving him a hero's welcome back.
What was it like for you, Greg, coming back with 33,000 people there, the biggest crowd since Family of Man winning, and on such a courageous and popular racehorse?
Lose or draw, but to win the Cox Plate's one thing, but to win it on that horse is just another. It was just...
Well, I made the point at the beginning of the show, Keith and Greg, that legends, they say that legends are made in the Cox Plate. Well, this one was already a legend. The legend was just enhanced and increased a little more, if that's possible.
Yes, he's Australia's record stakes earner now, Bruce. But this was a Cox Plate that Superimpose won. It also was the Cox Plate that the connections of 5 horses claimed their horses should have won. It was a roughhouse Cox Plate.
It was. Greg, we're about to go. A key point of the race, just looking at it there, Keith, was the fact that Greg was able to, on Superimpose, keep Better Loosen Up in on the turn, because had Better Loosen Up been able to come in underneath him and push him wider, Better Loosen Up might have won the Cox Plate and Superimpose would not have.
What about the finish, Greg? It was like a demolition derby, horses bouncing off horses everywhere. Had to be scary.
Yeah, I mean, talk about luck. I mean, I got off the fence at the half mile about 3 or 4 deep because I had Rough Habit behind me, and there's one thing I didn't want, I wasn't sort of worrying about him winning, but I didn't want any horse coming round me, and I just peeled away from the fence, and then the split second later, bang, 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 3 come down like it was just a miracle that I never waited another half a second and gone over the top of myself. And Rough Habit jumped all the falling horses and got away with. I mean,
well, he didn't really get away. He got cut and he didn't fall, but he was out of the. Let's have a look at that that incident, Greg, that you've just talked about in detail. Here is the Palace Reigns, the first go. It's still very hard. I've seen it a dozen times. It's still very hard to know exactly what happened, and the stewards have adjourned the inquiry. There's Rough Habit. You can see him at the back being totally poleaxed, and you are right. You're out. You're following Let's Elope, and you were in a winning position on the turn, ready to strike. Now, Keith, we're about to show the incident where the protest occurred, 5th against 2nd. It was upheld. I think it shocked a lot of people yesterday. Now, we've got to be careful what we say here, because a Jockey Superimpose. Now, here, from the right, Slight Chance, King Jate, then Prince Saleri, Better Loosen Up. Look at Let's Elope hanging down, and Superimpose coming down. He always does run in. Better Loosen Up, tightened up, turned around there. King Jate with him, and Let's Elope and Superimpose.
Okay, I hope you didn't go beyond the identification here that we agreed to, but that was fine. There was no real comment.
No, sorry, Keith.
But as far as the form of the Cox Plate is concerned, as I said, I think it's a mess. The good thing to come out of it was the improvements by horses like Let's Elope, Better Loosen Up, and, of course, Superimpose, a live Melbourne Cup chance. They're great horses. They showed glimmers of that yesterday, and I'm looking forward to the future as far as they're concerned.
Well, it's a good point about the Melbourne Cup, because the race has taken on a different complexion. We'll show you the market a little later, but 3 superstar horses have suddenly become very much a factor. Superimpose, Better Loosen Up, and probably in particular Let's Elope.
Good, Let's Elope and Better Loosen Up, the 2 horses of the year for the past 2 seasons. Then you throw in the veteran Superimpose, the Cox Plate winner. This is going to be a Melbourne Cup with a difference, isn't it?
Let's have a look at the Melbourne Cup market. It did change a bit yesterday. Viander Cross is 5-1. Let's Elope and Sub-Zero, the horse that Greg Hall will ride at 7-1. Royal Magic, there was some doubt about whether she'll run or not, and I don't think that'll be decided until after this Saturday. 10-1 with Castletown. Cavalieri into 12s. Better Loosen Up, Superimpose, London Bridge at 15-1. The McKinnon Stakes is going to be quite extraordinary this week. You're going to have the Cox Plate field plus Viander Cross. It's in many ways, it's probably going to be the championship of Australia for this year.
Well, I think it will.
Melbourne's wet weather return for Derby Day at Flemington, where the 1,000...
Caught them away in a pretty good line, and one of the first horses out was Clever Zoe down towards the inside. She immediately takes up towards the inside. She immediately takes up the running. The heavyweights got out fairly well. Mandormus out wider on the track. Janelle again on the track, and then Doe Peak, Miss Minden second last, Imaginero last. 400 metres left to go. Clever Zoe a half a length in front. Going up on its outside, the heavyweight. A length back to Sportsworks, and they were followed down on the fence by Perfect Craft, and then Janelle again. The heavyweight took the lead. Clever Zoe being shaken up by Clark. The heavyweight's ahead in front. Clever Zoe's coming back the inside. Clever Zoe the inside, the heavyweight the outside. The heavyweight ahead in front. Clever Zoe the favourite coming again on the inside. It's a bob and go. The heavyweight just in front though, and the heavyweight. The heavyweights won the Marauding Plate by a head to Clever Zoe. Good run the third horse, Sportsworks, and then came Imaginero. Perfect Craft, Temperate Plug, well back Miss Minden, Dope. Race. But today, a big surprise for most punters. She's been beaten in the Marauding Plate. The heavy
yesterday won the Wakeful.
This is going to be the last one to link up. A field of 20 in the Wakeful Stakes, over 2,000 metres. Running up towards the bend, 700 metres to go, and it's skating in front. By a length, second was Pompeii Lady. A length and a half to Sparky Miss. Azuro was 4th. Joy's Girl starting to make a run around them out wide, followed by Mar Becker, Queen's Choice in need of a run. Flitter goes up very wide, and they were followed by Burst getting away from the rails. Doe keep well out of it. Mahay has only got about 4 or 5 behind it as they come around the home turn. 500 metres left to go. It's skating just the leader. Being tackled now by Azuro on the outside. Sparky needs a run. Getting through in the centre too as they rate the home turn. Pompeii Lady, Tempest Command, Mar Becker. Down the outside, Flitter making a run. And now Love comes to town into the clear. 300 metres to go. Azuro in front. Love comes to town, wearing it down, followed by Burst, Doe Keep, and then Flitter Yodelay. Inside the 150 metre point though, Love comes to town, hit the front from Azuro. They've drawn away from Burst, and then Yodelay, Tempest Command, but Love comes to town, goes for home, and she's shot away, revelling in the conditions. Here's the Oaks favourite, and down to the post, Love comes to town, wins 3 lengths. Tight for second, maybe Tempest Command in front of Azuro and Burst. They were performance by the winner. She is going to be the horse to beat on the Oaks.
Well, Dan, there she is on screen now, and as I said before the race, she just looked beautiful.
Number 6, Love Comes to Town, expect $5.50 and $2.30 is on.
See the changing of the guard. It's where Research took it off Riverina Charm in her year, and I think Love Comes to Town has now taken it off Azuro. And if they carry a penalty in the Wakeful, they normally win the Oaks.
I think she'll do what Richfield Lady did last year and win the Oaks, Bruce.
To go for the double AMI, Victoria Derby, 2,500 metres. The light is on. Favourite Coronation Day. Well, there must be 20 to 25 lengths between first from last. They have about 1,300 metres to travel. And He's Classic has taken over in the Derby. Leads by a length to Mac Brave. Third was Shoeshine Henry, a length away. Fourth, Sovereign Dan. A length and a half to Coronation Day, who's back fifth on the inside. A length and a half then to Palace Rain. Muirfield Village is starting to make up a bit of ground with Raising Kentucky. Over on the inside, Carptive Edition, and then came Pallet. Reading starting to work into it. Our Pompeii behind those, a break of 3 lengths to River Hero. Kenny's Best Pal taken to the outside, and then came Tuscanatus back at the tail of the field with Check That Style. They have 700 metres left to go, and again they're starting to bunch right up. Mac Brave just in front of He's Classic. Shoeshine Henry was third. Then Coronation Day, followed by Muirfield Village, Sovereign Dan. Palace Rain getting away from the rail. Running on was Reading. Very wide out was Kenny's Best Pal. Around the home turn in the double AMI Victoria Derby. And it's He's Classic, one of the outsiders in front. From Mac Brave under pressure, then Shoeshine Henry. Here's Raising Kentucky on the outside, running on strongly. Muirfield Village behind them. Coronation Day got chopped off. 300 metres left to go. Hitting the front, Raising Kentucky. Reading is wearing it down. Getting up along the inside was Muirfield Village. 150 to go. Reading a length and a half in front. Muirfield Village got to second, then Raising Kentucky. Reading in front of the Derby, and a maiden's going to win the Derby again. Reading draws away to win by a length and a half. Second, Muirfield Village. Close up third, Raising Kentucky. Then our Pompeii, Palace Rain. Check That Style, made up ground from Pallet, River Hero, a break to Carptive Edition. Well back was Just One, followed in by Mac Brave.
And Reading's come into it as well. On the turn, He's Classic took the lead from McBrave, Shoeshine Henry, Just One. Then our Pompeii squeezing up on the inside, and here's Raising Kentucky with Reading and Muirfield Village running on. Raising Kentucky hit the lead from on the outside. Reading and Muirfield Village further back is Check That Style. Reading in front below the 200 metre mark now. Reading kicked away a length and a half in front of Muirfield Village, followed by Raising Kentucky and our Pompeii. It's Reading clear, and a maiden's going to win the Derby again. Reading goes on to score by a length and a half to Muirfield Village. A half a head away third, Raising Kentucky from our Pompeii.
But boy, Damien Oliver, he just continues to impress me as a jockey. Like you forget he's not even 21 yet. And Muirfield Village was a good run. Coronation Day just over-raced. He pulled very hard. I noticed at the 1600, Jim Cassidy, when on a wet day like this, the reins are inclined to slip a bit in your hands, and he was in a bit of trouble down past the 1600 on Coronation Day.
He certainly had caused the track to be from South Australia, proving he was the best stayer in the race and brilliantly ridden by informed jockey Damien Oliver.
Derby, Coronation Day, a warm favourite, failed to handle the conditions. River Hero was disappointing. A maiden for only the 4th time, but the 2nd time in 2 years or 3 years, won the Derby. His name was Reading. Trainer Damien Oliver, the jockey. Max, if I'd said to you a couple of weeks ago that either Coronation Day or Muirfield wouldn't win, or a Sydney-based horse, you would have laughed at me.
No, I wouldn't have. Not in Melbourne conditions. Not on a wet track like that, Bruce.
Good
outfit. Stand well. Racing. Ghost Stories jumped away well. Barcara got out very quickly. Story is going straight to the outside rail. After 150 metres, an Unspoken Word is showing good speed with Barcara to lead on set. Linking Maroon, followed by Umatilla. Deep red on the track was Alias Combabash, and then came Barossa Boy. Ghost Story's got a bit of work to do at this stage, and then came Vain Sovereign and Palatine. Running up towards the 450, it's Barcara just in front of Unspoken Word. Story is down the outside on his own. Barcara being tackled now by Unspoken Word and Tangent Prince. They've broken away from Sonic Express, Friends Venture, then King Marauding. Ghost Stories making up many lengths down the outside, and Soraya on his own down the grandstand side. Unspoken Word in front, trying to wear him down as Tangent Prince. Ghost Story late, getting the third. Unspoken Word's in front, he's finding plenty from Tangent Prince and Ghost Story, and Unspoken Word wins. Unspoken Word a half a length. Tangent Prince second, third home Ghost Story, a long break to Big Dreams. Then Barcara, followed by King Marauding, T Habit, Vain Sovereign, Sonic Express, Friends Venture, Mr. Q, Balashan, Welcome Night. Then Ali
Mark, T Habit is under a lot of pressure a long way back, and Ghost Story is eased to the centre of the course now. They've got 400 to go, and Unspoken Word after Barcara. 2 lengths to Tangent Prince, Sonic Express, Mr. Q badly checked, and then King Marauding and Friends Venture. Ghost Story is coming down the centre of the track now. They've got to the 200 metre mark. mark here, and dashing to the lead, Unspoken Word from Barkara. Tangent Prince and Ghost Story is out wide with long strides, but it's Tangent Prince and Unspoken Word. Unspoken Word fighting on strongly. Unspoken Word's going to win it. Unspoken third. Barrier beat him.
It's that man again, Dan, Bart Cummings.
You can never underestimate him, and this horse has a superb record. At Flemington, number 24, Unspoken Word, written by D. Taggart.
Well, what a great run.
Now the winner, number 18, is second, which is Tangent Prince, and number 22, Ghost Story, will be third. 24, 18.
Cummings, an outstanding trainer. First up again, he's got a terrific record up the straight in the Newmarket and the Gadsden. Is that the miler you were talking about last week, Ghost Story, that everyone's been asking us about?
I do feel if he runs in the Honda, he won't be beaten. Bruce, I was told that Ghost... what a run.
Well, but...
Set for a start. Racing in the McKinnon Stakes. Viander Cross stood there and missed it 3 lengths. Castletown was a little bit slow into stride, and Captain Cook goes straight to the front. Captain Cook in front early from Acquitted and Prince Alieri. Dr. Grace to 4th, a length away Heroicity 5th. Then Star of the Realm, and they were followed by Royal Magic. Viander Cross getting up on the inside of Castletown. Then Sub-Zero, Better Loosen Up, and Rough Habit last of all. And it's 20 lengths off the lead, and Captain Cook has taken off with Harry White. Captain Cook, 1,100 metres to go, led by 10 lengths. Second, Acquitted, a length and a half to Dr. Grace, 2 to Prince Alieri. 3 lengths away, 5th, Heroicity. 4 lengths away, Star of the Realm. Then Viander Cross on the inside of Royal Magic, a length and a half to Castletown. Over on the inside next, Better Loosen Up, and then Sub-Zero. And last of all was Rough Habit. Captain Cook coming back to them. They have 800 metres to go, and he led by 5 lengths now. Second, Dr. Grace, third, Acquitted. Then came Viander Cross, followed by Prince Alieri. Royal Magic over on the outside. Going around them wider was Castletown as they run up to the turn, and they're bunched right up now. Rough Habit gets to third last on the outside of Better Loosen Up, and Sub-Zero last of all. Around the turn, 500 metres to go on the McKinnon, and the leader is still Captain Cook by a length. Acquitted switched back to the inside, joining in Dr. Grace. They were followed by Heroicity, running on strongly with Prince Alieri, and then Royal Magic, followed by Viander Cross. They have 300 metres to go. Prince Alieri in front, trying to run it down on the outside, Heroicity, and here comes Rough Habit. Rough Habit's running on very strongly. From them came Viander Cross, but Rough Habit loomed up 100 to go and hit the front. Rough Habit drew a length in front. Viander Cross played his flying. Viander Cross is the one. Viander Cross got up on the fence to win. Viander Cross beat Rough Habit. Close up in the race third. It's a photo between Heroicity, Wide Out Star of the Realm, and Acquitted. They were followed in behind them by Prince Alieri. Then came Royal Magic. Back towards the rear, Castletown, Better Loosen Up, Dr. Grace, and the pacemaker last, Captain Cook.
From Rough Habit, Sub-Zero was last in a bunched field. Captain Cook claimed at the top of the straight by Dr. Grace, Prince Alieri. Heroicity wider out. Viander Cross is angling for a run on the inside. He's trying to get a run through as Heroicity's coming with a good run on the outside, and then Rough Habit. They've got towards the 250 metre mark. Prince Alieri, Heroicity in front. Down the outside now is Rough Habit coming with a run, and then Viander Cross. It's Rough Habit racing up now. Rough Habit has hit the front of the last 100 metres. Viander Cross is dashing through. Viander Cross has grabbed the lead, and Viander Cross, fantastic win, beats Rough Habit. Third, Acquitted just in front of Heroicity.
Viander Cross, McKinnon Stakes looked to be a classic, but Bart Cummings withdrew Cup's Queen Let's Elope 90 minutes before the start. So when will she get a run?
Well, you tell me what the weather's going to do, and I'll tell you what we'll do. Tomorrow, well, it might even be Monday. It depends on where we get a dry surface to run, and so really, possibly could be even Monday.
To the race itself, Viander Cross missed the start, was buffeted in the straight, but was sensational.
Viander Cross looking for a run. Di goes back to the fence. Further out, Heroicity grabbing them now. Then Royal Magic, Better Loosen Up, back second last with Castletown. Out wide, Heroicity and Prince Alieri got to the front from Acquitted. Viander Cross further back, and here's Rough Habit with a great run out wide. Here's the Kiwi, Rough Habit. Oh, look at him go, the little terror. Rough Habit's raced up to grab them now. Viander Cross getting up on the inside. It's coming back. Viander Cross comes back and wins. A magnificent win by Viander Cross.
The win was a change.
Well, Rough Habit looked the winner there, Gary, at the 200, and Viander Cross died just bided his time.
Well, he certainly did, and you know, I don't know what happened at the start, whether the horse just stood there or something happened, but it was certainly a great run. He looked the winner all the way on the straight if he got the run. And I hope that silenced quite a few of Shane Dye's critics, because he's been a great jockey, and You know, he might have had one blemish on his career at Caulfield, but I'd hate people to remember it for that.
Well, and look towards the inside barrier 4 in the pink and turquoise colours, and he virtually just stood in the gates. There he comes out now. There's 3 or 4 in front of him, Gary.
Well, I can't honestly see what's happened to him, Dan, whether the horse just fourthly out. The run was definitely there for the Undercross. Now he's had to check here, come back outside. Star of the Realm, you can see outside Sub-Zero. He's getting home very well.
Gee,
and I still think that Star of the Realm on a dry track might be the one to beat the Melbourne Cup.
Super performance. Viand across the winner.
It was a very good win. He never jumped. He missed the start 3 or 4 lengths. He just stood there for some reason. But it was an outstanding cup trial. You know, it's going to be awfully hard to beat, especially if a bit of rain keeps up.
Viandacross will now start a warm favourite in Tuesday's Melbourne Cup. Rough Habit made it a Quinella for the John Wheeler stable.
The weather problem, Bruce, it took some great horses out, including Let's Elope out of the McKinnon Stakes. She was the morning favourite for, but we saw a McKinnon Stakes that we'll remember for a long time.
We will, and I guess in the McKinnon, we're going to go into it in a moment. Viandacross fell out of the gates. There was an almighty roar from 46,000 people. I think they all had Shane Dye on their mind. The horse ran into 2 dead ends in the straight. He had to switch course twice. It was a remarkable run. He is a champion horse at 2,000 metres. Whether he's a champion at 3,200, we're going to find out on Tuesday. It's one of the great stories in Australian racing. Let's go. Words. It was thrilling to watch. Sub-Zero was very good when you look at it there, Keith, and he's got an outstanding chance, particularly if the track's slow.
Well, but Cummings and other top trainers rushed into label Viand across the super horse, the new super horse of Australasian racing. The only thing to my mind that is standing between him and Melbourne Cup victory is that we doubt about his staying ability.
I wonder about
start, Bruce. Was that immaturity of the horse, or what? You see, those
He's
sort
had
of
19
points.
starts before. How many times has he missed the start?
But I'm talking about a 2-mile horse, Bruce, like a seasoned horse. That seasoning concerns me a little. But one thing I've got no problems with whatsoever is Viandacross is an outstanding racehorse, and he's going to be very, very hard to beat on Tuesday.
Well, it's been a great guide in the past. 32, I think, of the last 64 winners have run in the first 5 in the McKinnon. What about...
Winners have been locked away. The last one up is Cavalieri, and they're set to go for the Dalgety of 1992, 2,500 metres. Just as they come around the turn, 500 metres left to go. It's still Gathano, just the leader from Cortuban. Sir Winston third, followed by Valdiano. Back behind them, Cross Swords. My Eagle Eyes running on strongly. London Bridge is looking for a run as they run down to the 400. Sir Winston went to the front. Gathano can't go on. Here's Valdiano running on strongly. Mr. Eurostar, Tiaco, Nick, Big Baron and London Bridge. Valdiano got to the front, 250 to go. Coming at him hard was Big Baron the outside, then Sir Winston. Valdiano in front. Big Baron trying to run him down from Sir Winston. Valdiano a length in front. Big Baron wearing him down. Big Baron draws level with Valdiano, and Big Baron wins the Dalgety. Big Baron by a length to Valdiano, third Sir Winston, then Cortuban, Tiaco, Nick and London Bridge. Next in Impulsive Risk and Brave Tiaco, Nick and London Bridge. Next in Impulsive Risk and Brave. It's like a good 2-miler should, Big Baron, Gary.
It was quite an incredible run, Dan, because going out of the straight the first time, he was back second or third last, and Darren Goucher was actually scrubbing his...
Winner went on to win the Cup, although Kingston Rule was placed 2 years ago.
And so was Terrific, and Black Knight, and Shagamar won and was placed, so it's not a bad guide. Keith Remain after the break, Bart Cummings and Lee Friedman to talk about the Melbourne Cup. Gentlemen, everyone wants to know about Let's Elope. You scratched her yesterday from the McKinnon Stakes. It seems as if her chance of winning the Melbourne Cup might have gone after yesterday. What's the latest with her?
She's officially notified the VRC 7:30 this morning she's not going to run.
So she's out officially?
That's right.
So that's huge news. Let's Elope officially scratched from the Melbourne Cup. I wonder, Lee, about Superimpose, who's one of your three chances. If it was a bulk track on Tuesday, would Superimpose go around, because he too is really non-effective on slow ground?
Well, that's true. He's probably a little bit better position than, say, Let's Elope. I know how she just hates any sort of wet ground. He can handle something up to nearly slow, so we're going to give ourselves another day or so to have a look at it.
You're in a strange situation. I know Keith and Max are chafing at the bit, because a slow track would really suit Sub-Zero, I feel. He'll run a very strong second favourite on a slow track. A fast track's going to suit Heroicity and Superimpose. Given a choice, what would you like the track to be on Tuesday? Where's your best chance?
Oh, it's a choice no one's going to have to make, because it's not going to be fast.
You still didn't answer my question. Who's your best chance of the three?
Well, I'd say after yesterday's racing and the way the weather is, I'd say Sub-Zero.
He did run very well, but do you feel you've lost any chance you had of winning the Cup? London Bridge didn't seem to fire yesterday. He wasn't that years. Viander Cross we've talked a lot about. I thought Sub-Zero's run was terrific here as well, Lee. He's ran fourth in this race. You must have been pretty delighted. You won the race with Mannerism, who's not in the Cup, obviously, and Sub-Zero running on strongly for fourth.
He's had a very good preparation. He hasn't really put in a disappointing run yet. And he seems a really ideal Melbourne Cup type horse, given these conditions, I think.
What did you think, Bart, from the Caulfield Cup was the best run from a Melbourne Cup point of view?
Well, Viander Cross nearly went 2 miles, so I think he'll start the Cup all right. He was a great performance.
Outstanding. Do you think he's a 2 miler, Bart? I mean, how can you tell? I know, but this is the query on him, isn't it?
I was only joking that he went 2 miles, but it does seem to me that he could do it quite well. The recipe for Melbourne Cup was always to be run second or third in the Caulfield Cup and avoid a penalty. Well, he did that, not by intent, I'm sure, but as it turned out, he's in penalty free, and he's the one to beat, no doubt about that.
Well, Cox, a quick look at the market and the barrier draw. The key horses, Viander Cross about 5-2 at the moment, Sub-Zero 5-1. Viander Cross drawn 3, should be okay, probably better off in 8-12 or something like that. Sub-Zero 15. Let's Elope scratched. Castletown has drawn 8. Star of the Realm, well, the conditions will depend on his price. London Bridge has drawn 7. We go over the page. Heroicity's drawn 6 at 14. Acquitted and Big Baron will both be big shorteners if it's slow or heavy. They'll come into about 10-1, both of them. Better Loosen Up and Superimpose will either be about 12-1 or they'll be about 50-1. Depends on the weather. And gentlemen, that's one of the biggest problems. Good track and one for a slow track. It could be heavy. It's not going to be any better than good, maybe only dead. Keith, your summary of your selections?
I've only switched around the Cornella, Bruce, on a good Viander Cross to beat Sub-Zero. On a slow, I think that the rain-affected track will help Sub-Zero over the distance because he...
For you, Max, you're sticking with Viander Cross in either conditions?
Yes, I think Viander Cross is an outstanding racehorse. I think Shane Dye will ride him well. On a goodish track, Star of the Realm was every bit as good a run yesterday as Sub-Zero. The sort of run that Bart Cummings would have liked about 10 years ago on the McKinnon, but of course he's got to have firmish conditions. I do think that Big Baron on a wet track is going to be a very formidable rival for Viander Cross. The win in the Dalgety...
they're the two horses that the Cup surrounds. I'm going for Viander Cross on a good track to beat Superimpose. He's got a great record in this race, and I think he's going as well as ever at this distance. I think he'll run on very strongly if held up, and Sub-Zero. And if the track is good, I think Better Loosen Up's got some hope. Slow, I think Sub-Zero for the same reasons as you, Keith. Viander Cross, and I think Acquitted got a chance on a slow track.
Unfortunately, 3 horses have been late withdrawals from the Melbourne Cup, and they include last year's winner, Let's Elope. Because of the deteriorating state of the track, Let's Elope was a late scratching, so too... As the field is about to leave the barrier, Lee Freedman is just a few minutes away from creating racing history.
There's the light. They're racing. They're off. And down on the inside, one of the first out, Star of the Realm, away quickly. Better Loosen Up came out running near the inside. Heroicity began fast and tucking in behind them. Viander Cross further out in the track now is Acquitted with Tiaka, Nick and Sub-Zero. Brave Expectations, Ali Boy, Dr. Grace and Sky Flyer as the widest runner. In the driving rain down from Donegal Mist, Dr. Grace out very wide on the track. Sub-Zero behind them with Donegal Mist. Star of the Realm, London Bridge, Tiaka, Nick, Viander Cross's midfield on the inside of Sub-Zero. Then came Superimpose, followed by Big Baron. Brave Expect Star is last of all. They go by the cross. Valdano out 3 deep. They're followed by Cavalieri as they start to bunch up in the Cup. Further back, Superimpose, Big Baron. 2 lengths to Castletown, well back in the field with Brave Expectations and Mr. Eurostar. 1,000 to go in the Cup. Sir Winston 1.5 lengths in front. Second, Sky Flyer. Acquitted had a nice run over on the inside. Third, they're followed further back by Dr. Grace. Better Loosen Up is over on the inside of the 850-metre mark. He lost a bit of ground around the outside of him, Ali Boy. Where's Viander Cross? Oh, he's still locked away badly on the inside. Sub-Zero's pulled out wide. He's making a run. Valdano and Cavalieri off the track are coming with runs now, and further back, Big Baron about third last when they turn. Sir Winston first for home in the Melbourne Cup, 1.5 lengths, kicked away 2 in front of Acquitted. Then Better Loosen Up, followed by Cavalieri. Valdano tried to push his way clear, and here's Sub-Zero down the outside, and Castletown with a run. Sub-Zero might be the one. He's raced up to Sir Winston from Cavalieri, Castletown, and then Viander Cross getting out late from Ali Boy. Greg Hall has raced to the front on Sub-Zero. He goes for home in the Cup, and he might have a run. He's 3 in front. Viander Cross, Castletown trying hard, but it's the the Grace Cup. Sub-Zero holding Viander Cross at bay, and Sub-Zero wins the Melbourne Cup by 2 lengths. Second, Viander Cross a length and a half away. Third, Castletown, a gap then to Mr. Eurostar. Fourth, a long gap further back, Cavalieri, Big Baron, and then Sir Winston, London Bridge, Star of the Realm. Then
Big Baron's back about third last. Running up to the home turn in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, 600 metres to go, and Sir Winston the leader. Sir Winston's in front, Skyflyer was second. Here's Cavalieri around the outside, dashing up to the leaders. Acquitted off the fence, followed by Better Loosen Up. Viander Cross looking for a run back midfield. Running down to the 400, Sir Winston kick 2 in front. Here's Sub-Zero down the outside, the grey, and look at Castletown come into it. Sub-Zero goes up on the outside of Sir Winston. 300 metres to go. Sub-Zero got a length and a half in front. Castletown running on it. Here's Viander Cross. Sub-Zero's kick. He's 2.5 in front of Viander Cross and Castletown. Sub-Zero clear. Viander Cross won't get him. And the Melbourne Cup of 1992 belongs to Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero wins by 2 to Viander Cross and Castletown third. A break in the field to Mr. Eurostar, followed by Cavalier. The Foster's Melbourne Cup has been won by the second time by Flemington trainer Lee Friedman, and has given jockey Greg Hall the greatest triumph in his life.
Well, what a great run.
Helped him immensely. Viander Cross was back on the fence, Gary, coming to the home turn, and he had plenty of horses around him.
He was very unlucky at that stage, Dan, because he got behind Better Loosen Up and a few horses that were dropping back on him, and they took him back out of the race, and he did a good job really to run home again.
$5.30 and $1.90 in Victoria for Sub-Zero, $2.10 for Viander Cross, Castletown $3.40, 3 magnificent.
Great ride, and I knew after he won the Adelaide Cup with that record weight that he was always going to be hard to beat in this race. And he trained perfectly. You know, as I said the other day, couldn't put the horse in the race with a better preparation, really.
What were your feelings when the heavens opened? Because it did eliminate so many and probably help you.
Well, it did. I didn't want it probably quite that wet for him, but as it turned out, it's probably hindered some of the other runners, so I'm not going to give the money back anyway.
Was Greg looking to shadow Viander Cross all the way?
Well, not really. That one.
Well, he's a great trainer, and that's what he employs us boys to do, so, I mean, it's nice to be a good rider, but it's even better to be able to do the job.
Out of the 15 barrier, over 1 out going down the straight the first time, and you had the favourite inside you. That couldn't have been bad.
Yeah, but I'm a bit of a different jockey. I knew the favourite was there, but I wasn't really concentrating on him. I just wanted my horse to relax and...
but you knew where he was, which was handy.
I knew where he was, but I can't concentrate on other blokes, so I've got to do my own job.
And he came out beautifully from around about the 8th.
Then I elected to move up 3 or 4 deep, and I didn't mind as long as I had cover. And I knew he was the best stayer. I knew he was the fittest. He'd been trained the best. He got a little tired getting towards the end, but the conditions aren't good. And I thought 300 out.
400, you're travelling at a heap of horse underneath you.
He looks like that, but he didn't have a lot there. But 200 out, I went for him because if I had got run down, then I would have said, well, I've done my job, Lee's done his job, and the better horse beat him. But it wasn't to be. He was the best stayer, and that's what we thought going into the race. And we didn't think the favourite could stay, and if he was going to, we were going to make him stay.
You were well clear halfway down.
The Melbourne Cup, well, you know, unfortunately it just rained that morning, and I didn't want rain because it was a 2-horse race, Sub-Zero and Viander Cross, and it poured with rain. I held him up a bit. He got out a little bit late, but the other horse was too good. You know, the last bit I wasn't making ground up on him. He'd ran a very credible second.
Sub-Zero! Cummings created quite a stir on this program last Sunday morning, and quite a reaction. More about the reaction in just a moment, but Bart was called before the VRC stewards on Tuesday and asked to explain exactly what he said on Sunday and the repercussions that his announcement on Let's Elope and her scratching made on the Melbourne Cup. The horse was scratched at 2:29, 61 minutes before the Cup. Bart, I believe and I'm sure, was totally genuine. There was no reason for Bart to be skiting it all last Sunday. He didn't realise the horse was scratched. I know he's been pulled in by the VRC stewards and maybe given a light rap over the knuckles, but...
I mean, as luck would have it, it was there, and we got over the 2,000 metre crossing, and he seemed to be over racing to me, that horse, and the key is with Melbourne Cups or 2-mile races is you must get your horse relaxed, and he just seemed to be overworking a bit too far from home, and I thought, well, maybe.
You've taken off. I think this is a very tactical move at this stage of the race. You've gone, Die's in trouble.
Yeah,
How are you feeling there? Did you think you had the leaders covered?
No, well, what I did think is, Max, is I thought, now, I knew Shane had committed himself to stay on the inside. My plan was, once I got over that crossing, was to get a cart up, and I didn't want, or Lee didn't want in myself as any trouble at all as straightening up. So, I mean, to get those 2 or 3 horses carting into the straight as well was great.
You're going to be in front now, maybe 50 metres before you would like to be. So, your thoughts at this drive to the post?
Well, I just thought now, Keith, you're quite right. I probably was 50 metres in front before I wanted, but I knew he had the Butte preparation. He'll run the 2-mile ride out, and I said, well, I'll soon see if the other horse will stay, which I never thought he would. And I don't think he was making any ground on him in the last 100 metres.
It's Lee Friedman's opinion that you were going to stand up in the irons and wave after going past the post, but you were too exhausted. Is that true?
No, it was far from that, Kay, I can assure you. I think I was a bit lucky in the Cox Plate. I never copped the fine, so I sort of still copped the tip.
What about the nerves from Scobie Breezy?
Yeah, Greg, just one point. After looking at the race and the replays, many of us feel that Viander Cross may have been unlucky. What is just looking from our point of view in the stand, looking at the replays, what's your opinion on that line?
Now, I've had enough of this Viander Cross being unlucky, actually, Max. And, you know, in all fairness to Shane, I mean, he's got a job to do. And, look, I mean, you guys know better than anybody. At the end of that race, I mean, I'll put the question back on you. Do you think he was pulling any ground off me? Like, I'm talking about the last 50 or 100 metres. OK, he might have got that little bit of a hold up there where I got carted into the race well on that. But he had, you know, all being equal, he had a pretty fair, reasonable sort of run, didn't he?
I thought you led him at one stage in the straight by 6 lengths. He pulled at least 4 off you at the end of 2 miles. I think that's a tough task, but nevertheless, I'm not taking, I think, the best ride, the best horse, perhaps on the day won it. But that's something we can argue about. I'm very interested in your opinion.
It's been some unlucky runners over the years. You could name them all. Natsky against Empire Rose and all of them.
The good ride. I want to make a statement about Viander Cross, Max, so we can clear this up next year. He'll come back a super weight for age horse. And look out for that. I'd like to be riding him in the Cox Plate.
Better than Naturalism?
Over 2,000.
Be careful.
I don't know what could happen there.
Be careful. You're riding for Friedman at the moment, and I just wanted. We've got a story on.
Naturally, she's the obvious favourite for the race today. She's gone along well since then, and I expect to continue on the winning way.
Bart Cummings, who has Love Comes to Town, the favourite, showing $1.90 and $1.30, and also Kingston Spiriting. All set to go for the VRC Oak Stakes of 1992. Love Comes to Town is the favourite. The light is on, and they're racing in the Oaks. Love Comes to Town has jumped away fairly well, but she's going to get back in the field today. Yodelay, one of the 900 metres left to go. Slight chance in front by a length. Mahaya was second, Goog's Dream was third, Yodelay was fourth, and Forget playing fifth. Then Strike High, Tempest Command going forward. Around the outside was Azuro, followed by Love Comes to Town, Kingston Spirit in front of it. Bubble over Queen's Choice, and Burst last of all as they run up to the home turn, and they're bunching up. 600 metres left to go on the Oaks, and Slight Chance just the leader. Mahaya second, followed by Goog's Dream. Azuro running on with Kingston Spirit. Then Yodelay, followed by Forget playing. Out very wide was Burst, running on with Love Comes to Town. Inside the 400-metre point, Mahaya the outside of Slight Chance. Yodelay gets off the fence, then Forget playing. Goog's Dream down the outside. Love Comes to Town, and Burst are running on. 250 to go, and Slight Chances kick back on the inside. Leaves a half length to Mahaya, who can't go on. Then Yodelay, Love Comes to Town, and Burst. Slight Chance in front of Mahaya, getting close to the post, and Slight Chance is going to win the Oaks by a length. Second home, Mahaya. Burst has got third, ran off the track in the straight. Then Strike High, Queen's Choice, Tempest Command, Yodelay. Close up Azuro, Love Comes to Town. Never a chance from Goog's Dream, Forget playing.
500 to go. Slight Chances first into the straight from Mahaya, Goog's Dream. They were followed wider out by Azuro, and back behind them then Kingston Spirit. Love Comes to Town is under pressure. They've come to the 300-metre mark, and it's Mahaya and Slight Chance in front of Yodelay and Goog's Dream. Wide out Burst is coming with a run now, and Love Comes to Town battling on. Slight Chances fighting on well. Slight Chance in front of Mahaya, Yodelay. Wide out is Burst. It's Slight Chance though in front. Slight Chance is holding them at bay, and Slight Chance wins the Oaks. Slight Chance, I think, from Mahaya second, and Burst perhaps third.
Well, it's fair to say controversial ride in the Caulfield Cup on Viander Cross, but he did everything perfect on Slight Chance.
Yeah, and I think you'll find that Shane Dye's won the Oaks for Slight Chance. we'll most probably get a look at the start here.
Shane Day over Greg Hall that time. Funny game, isn't it, racing? Well, Sydney fillies ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wasn't going to tell Max that, but I'm sure he took note. But Max, there was an incident, and Keith, at the start of the race, that almost cost Shane Day a slight chance to race. Watch her, closest to screen on the outside. Stumbles after the start, and Shane has to hang on for dear life. Here we go, down on her nose, and he almost out the back for a moment. So it wasn't the best of starts. She was entrapped very wide on the first turn, and it really was an outstanding performance to win. Did you notice that Sydney fillies were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Max?
It was mentioned in the Sydney Morning Herald up high. Love Comes to Town pulled up lame, going for a spell, and the run of the race was undoubtedly burst.
Yeah, good runner. Yeah, good runner. I thought the winner was the run of the race. She had to be used up to win.
There were Scalachi $1.50 and $1.10. Tangent Prince $10.90. Del Rayo.
Yeah, I was just looking at Scalachi going round. He's such a relaxed horse. Always has his ears pricked. All great horses seem to do. And it seems...
Lights on in their racing. Scalachi jumped away best. Quick Score got out fairly well from Tangent Prince for sale, showing a bit of pace, and Redelva gets back with Del Rayo early. Left to go, and Tangent Prince whips across in front of King Marauding to lead. Third, Mukta, followed by Scalachi and Fasal. Then Redelva wide out from Quick Score, and Del Rayo last of all over the crossing. 550 metres to go. Tangent Prince up against the rail just in front of Mukta. Scalachi 3 out. 4 out was Fasal. Redelva 5 out. Then King Marauding, followed by Quick Score and Del Rayo last of all. 300 metres left to go, and Oliver gives Scalachi a bit more rain. He loomed up on the outside of Mukta and Fasal. Tangent Prince still going all right. Then came Redelva. 250 to go. Tangent Prince a length in front. Scalachi's under a little bit of pressure. Over on the outside for Sale. Tangent Prince has kicked. He's a length and a half in front of Mukta. Then Scalachi for Sale. Redelva. Scalachi can't win. Tangent Prince in front. Scalachi's going to miss a place. Tangent Prince in front. Del Rayo flying home, but Tangent Prince wins. Beat Del Rayo. Redelva might have just got third in front of Mukta. Then Quick Score for Sale. Scalachi, and King Marauding has run last. Must be difficult for a horse, particularly if his quality, to come back after such a tragic accident in the Cox Plate. 63 kilos, is it too much weight for him?
I don't think so. I think against a field like this, he's in pretty well, really, Dan. And he looks absolutely beautiful. I think he's the most exciting horse in Australia at the moment.
Well, he's the favourite for the Graysmith Stakes, a listed race, run over 2,000 metres as the last of them link up.
I thought in the event might...
Graysmith. Favourite Naturalism in the green and white colours. And they're racing now. 10 second, 2 lengths away Palatana, then At Best and Kaviri. 1.5 to Naturalism. He's 5 lengths off the lead, followed by Baron Samedi. Cool Credit coming into the race, followed by Famous Dick, and then came Mango's Lunch. Tanui Prince second last and 2 lengths away in the event. Around the turn as they bunch up now, 500 metres to go. Ahura just in front of Silk Garley, and At Best is out 3 wide. Here's Naturalism 4 deep. Kaviri needs a run, followed by Cool Credit and Baron Seedy behind them. 300 metres left to go. Silk Garley in front. Now Naturalism called on. Kaviri looks for a run. At Best is running on. Silk Garley 250 to go. A length and a half in front. Naturalism is flat, trying to wear him down from Kaviri, and Cool Credit from a long way back. Silk Garley in front. Naturalism wearing him down, and then Cool Credit. Naturalism goes up to Silk Garley. Naturalism puts his head in front, and Naturalism. 1 1/4 half head to Silk Garley, and Cool Credit third. Then Kaviri and Mango.
Number 1 go in the frame, but...
2 lengths back then, Naturalism. Dittman asking him to go now with the big weight, but Silkali out in front at the 200. Silkali in front. He's hit the pull the whip on Naturalism, trying very hard. It's still Silkali about a length in front. Naturalism is answering the urgings of Dittman. Naturalism with a big weight. He's raced. He's put his nose in front. Silkali kicks Naturalism a nose. Silkali.
Has the weather improved?
Then Kaviri and Mango.
Number 1 go in the frame, but gee, well, that was a terrific performance.
Yeah, it was a fantastically gutsy performance, because I sort of, I had to run the horse in the race. I didn't really want to have to run him because he was going to have to give so much weight away. And I remember George Moore saying to my father years ago that he said once horses get over 2,000 metres, they start having to carry 9 stone plus. He said it's very hard for them to win. Well, this horse is carrying nearly 10 stone a weight. Yeah.
Were you worried when Mick had to go 4 wide, because the danger, I suppose, was that the other things were going to sprint around him and put him in a pocket?
Yeah, well, no, I was pretty happy with that, because I said you'll have to get him rolling a bit earlier, because I said he's not going to sprint with that weight, and that's what happened. All he's done is flatten out the last 200. He went to the line like a nice 1.5 miles for us.
Well, when you see 63 kilos on their back and they're looming up alongside a lightweight in the last bit, that's probably the time the weight's going to tell, but he was doing his best work at the finish.
Yeah, it's a sign of a very good horse, isn't it? Because, I mean...
One of the anomalies of this spring has been, Max, that Naturalism hasn't won a Group 1 race, and I think people will feel in a way that he's been the horse of the spring, yet he hasn't won at Group 1 level.
That is a great racehorse. I'd like to ask Michael Clark, can he win the Japan Cup?
You should know, Michael, you're the only Australian jockey to have won it.
I think he can, Max. He's a great horse where he can quicken in his race, and he's got a tremendous sprint, and he takes a lovely position in a race, and you could say, you know, over 2400 he's going to have the run of the race, and with his acceleration he's going to be very hard to beat in the Japan Cup.
And they're all set to go. That's on, and they're off and racing. 700 metres to go on the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and Courcheban in front by a length to Captain Cook. Beachside third on the inside of Delmar, then Mannerism, Rich Dreams. Rough Habit getting into the race now, 8 lengths off the lead, and then came NASA Rocket hooked out wide from Mr. Eurostar. Cross Swords runs into it as well. 500 metres to go, and it's Courcheban by 2 lengths. Captain Cook second, Beachside third, Mannerism runs on. Then came Rough Habit, Mountain Rule starting to run on strongly. 300 metres to go, Courcheban in front, but here comes Rough Habit. Rough Habit's after Courcheban quickly, he cruised up the favourite. 3 lengths away, NASA Rocket running on, and then Beachside followed by Mountain Rule. 200 metres to go though, and Rough Habit got away. A half in front of Courcheban, who's kicking back. Rough Habit just in front, Courcheban kicking back, and he won. Courcheban kicked back the win on the inside, beat Rough Habit a half head. 3 away third, NASA Rocket, followed in by Beachside. Mountain Rule next home from Tupper.
Terrifically, the pace was on all the way.
That's a new record too, Gary. That's a new track record. Taking 0.3 off the previous record. Well, there's a...
Trotting, wasn't he?
They don't pay at the furlong.
Oh, Max, don't I know?
You're entitled to be in the queue there, though, weren't you?
Oh,
it was home.
It was home, and I thought Jim Cassidy rode extremely well.
Well, every commentator made a reference to it being home. I think the course broadcaster, Greg Miles, said making light of his big weight or something like that, you know.
Now, did he... I'm going to ask you this question. Did he fail to stay 2500, or... Remember in Brisbane when he had a race one? And
Barossa Boy.
Yeah. What do you think on that, Max? Because you're very controversial. No. Say something again.
I'd say he had 59 kilos. I'd say if he had 56, he would have stayed the distance all right. It was a course record. It was running at a very fast time. He was conceding 10 kilos, obviously, to a very dour stayer. It was just a matter of the weight and the time that beat him, but Rough Habit is still an outstanding racehorse.
A year ago...
Like Courcheban to go to Perth, and would you be interested in riding him there?
I think he'd be a good chance, Bruce. He's a very tough staying horse, and I think that Shane rated him well yesterday in making it a true staying test with his lightweight.
Go and have a look at the Honda. It was a spectacular win in the end for Planet Royal. He came with a steaming run.
At the 950 metre mark, Prince of Praise carting. Third, a half Soho Square with a nice run fourth, a length for the back, Infallible out 3 deep. Then Ready to Explode over on the inside, Veins of and followed by Take the Road. Dan Jicky out wide and for the back, Matinee Idol followed by Excited Angel, and pulled out wide then is Palm Beach Vows. Back to the rail from Prince Algeria, fairway back from Let's Hurry, T-Habit, Black Sun and Planet Ruler. Homeward Bound Solvent on the outside of Prince of Praise. They're a length and a half to Soho Square. Big Dreams trying to get out from further back, then Ready to Explode, and Vows about to get its way clear. Then Take the Road, Dan Jicky down the outside. Prince Algeria's not in the race. Soho Square got to Solvent, Prince of Praise at the 250 metre mark from Vows, and then Dan Jicky followed by Take the Road. The leader here is Vows. Planet Ruler with a great run out wide. Soho Square in front, Vows, Planet Ruler over the top of them, and Planet Ruler. Planet Ruler's got up to win the Honda from either Soho Square and Vows.
Praise at the 500, tackled by Solvent on the outside. Soho Square running into it from Big Dreams, and they were trailed then by Ready to Explode. Vows is next down the outsiders, Take the Road. It's Prince of Praise at the 300. Coming at them, Soho Square on the outside from Take the Road. Then came Dan Jicky, 3 in line at the 200 metre mark, and taking the lead, Soho Square from Solvent, Prince of Praise. Here's Vows finishing well now, and down the outsiders, Planet Ruler. Soho Square in front, Planet Ruler's flashing home, and the old fella Planet Ruler's won it. Planet Ruler out wide from Soho Square, and Vows in a photo for them.
The outside of Prince of Praise, Soho Square joins in, Vows getting out, Take the Road, Dan Jicky wide, then Big Dreams, Soho Square in front, 150 to go, Soho Square the leader, Vows bearing it down, and Planet Ruler late down the outside, Soho Square in front, Planet Ruler swabbing them, and Planet Ruler's got up. Planet Ruler's got up to beat Soho Spear and Vows. Then close up. I got to say, this horse is one of the best I've seen, particularly here at Flemington. Number 2, Planet Ruler, ridden by Michael Clark, has flashed home down the outside to take victory in the Honda Stakes.
He's a great horse at Flemington, Danny. He always seems to produce his best.
Planet Ruler has been a marvellous campaigner in each of his 7 seasons of racing. The Honda Stakes was the 5th Group 1 success of his career.
It's nothing more exciting than seeing a horse respond as that horse did and lengthen his stride under pressure, and well-timed run, Michael, to get up. What's your favourite horse of a lot of punters in Planet Ruler? Michael, I'm not sure how many punters were favoured with him yesterday, but what a run, and can't he run sometimes when the tracks are fast?
Yes, Bruce, he's an exceptionally good horse, and he can win from 1200 to yesterday's distance of a mile and run very fast time.
He was the oldest horse in the race at 8 years, and probably we did overlook that he'd won twice before at Group 1 level at that distance, the George Main and the Toorak Handicap.
Yes, and 55 kilos yesterday, Keith, for him was probably luxury. Even though he's been out of form a little bit, he does take a little bit of racing to come right, and yesterday's distance was probably ideal. As he's getting older, he's looking for a little bit more distance.
Hasn't it been too, is that his injury was probably worse than Better Loosen Up, and he's been able to make this remarkable recovery, hasn't he, Planet Ruler? He hasn't been a sound horse.
No, and that's probably...
And he looked very impressive. He's a Perth Cup favourite. It's over 1,800. It's a $200,000 group. Let's go and have a performance and Red Javelin.
The 600 they come now. Lincoln's caught the one to run over. A length on Scarlet Stormboy. Ran Tave about to get up. Then Palacious. Red Javelin let go. Now Clark said, come on, Bluey. And Better Loosen Up forced out wide going forward from Yulganji Gold, Jungle Comedy and Double Dignity. Around the bend at the 300. And Lincoln's caught the leader. Here's Red Javelin. Wider Better Loosen Up. Then came Jungle Comedy. Red Javelin shot clear. Better Loosen Up the outside. Jungle Comedy the inside. Leader clear. Better Loosen Up the outside. Jungle Comedy the inside. Red Javelin the leader. A great ride by Albuino, and the Perth Cup favourite Red Javelin by length and a half. Jungle Comedy second. Now Double Dignity might beat Better Loosen Up for third.
Australia, before we talk Japan, it was Perth yesterday.
Now Double Dignity might beat Better Loosen Up for third.
Australia, before we talk Japan, it was Perth yesterday with the 2 big races. Better Loosen Up going around in the Diabetes, and he won the Japan Cup on this very day just 2 years ago.
Yes, but we'd have to wonder now, Bruce, whether it is worthwhile going on with Better Loosen Up, because he's been a mighty horse, but it's been a long time since he's shown a spark of that Japan form. Perhaps you might say the Cox Plate in October, but nevertheless I think that form is becoming highly suspect.
Yes, you'd have to query it a little. Yesterday just didn't show any dash. He was brave as always, but the horse that won the race, Max, Red Javelin's pretty impressive. He's won 9 from 17. I'm not sure whether Better Loosen Up will go on now for the Cup. Korchaban was very impressive here yesterday at 13 to 8 on. He goes for the Cup. Is there anything coming out of Sydney or even Diego out of Queensland? It's a good point, Max. I think they were very unlucky, the Hay stable yesterday with Planet Ruler. He was steaming home at the end of the winter bottom. What a good horse this Barossa Boy. The big race in Perth with Barossa Boy holding out Planet Ruler.
At the 700, Asian Incline held together. Wonder Pago Escort, Barossa Boy the box seat, Port Phillip fourth there. Wider Business beat. On the inside, Welcome Night. Wonder Pago's King. Vows about to get out underneath him. Dr. Golly's off. Pago's King doing nothing midfield. And then Medicine Kid, Milady's Jewel. Planet Ruler badly barricaded. And Straight No Isis last of all. Around the bend, into the straight with Asian Incline the leader. Now Barossa Boy out. Pago Escort is gone. Then Welcome Night Vows, Pago's King gone, and Dr. Golly Medicine Kid down the outside, but Barossa Boy, he burst to the lead, it's over. Barossa Boy shot clear, Welcome Night, Planet Ruler flying, but Barossa Boy in front, and Barossa Boy won about a half length. Planet Ruler an enormous run second, Welcome Night or Vows and a photo there for third.
His last start was in the Gadsden, 16 out of 20, but that's not his normal form. Max, 22 wins from 43, over the $1 million. He's a terrific horse. And, gee, their second horse is flying, Planet Ruler.
I think the honours go to Planet Ruler. To give a horse like Barossa Boy that much start, to finish that well, to be that unlucky,
Obviously, Planet Ruler, at his age, still has plenty of racing left in him. I thought it was a phenomenal run.
Yes, it was a beauty.
With the Stars workouts at Tokyo Racecourse, some of the best racehorses in the world prepared for the richest horse race in the world, the Japan Cup. Today, more than 190,000 will pack the course as a field of 14 competes for the winner's cheque of $1 3/4 million. The Australian pair Let's Elope and Naturalism only exercise, but
we've got good weather here and hope it keeps going for Sunday, and she's working very well, and I'm very confident she'll run a great race.
Cummings
We're very happy the horse is in as good a condition as he's been in, I think, all year, and he wants to get on with the job. So he's put on weight here, but not fat.
Will be the English filly User Friendly, who was unbeaten in Britain and unlucky in Europe's most famous race, the Arc.
But we swear that Sydney, the bookmakers first. $53 million has been bet in Japan already, as we're going to take a look at the odds right around the world. Now, take note, that's the Japan market. Naturalism is at 13-2 with Let's Elope. They're equal second favourites behind User Friendly. 53 million so far in that Japan market. The Super Tab, now the TAB is open in Victoria today from 2:30 on the telephone account and 300 agencies from 4 o'clock. That Super Tab incorporates South Australia, Canberra, Tasmania, Northern Territory. The value there, Max, is...
As we know, Naturalism has had a perfect preparation for the race. His last start was a bottler. He's improved on that. He'll run out the journey. Everything's in his favour. We know he'd say that she's had the preparation of Naturalism. That's why I think he'll beat her. But our horses are there, have been set for the race, and any Australian horse or Australia or New...
She is a wonderful filly. Good luck to her. But I'm going to disagree with you, Max and Keith. I think Let's Elope will win today. I think she's the best horse I've seen here for a long time, and I reckon Bart's got her at her top. We'll see who's right, hey, at about 5:30 today. Good on you, Max.
For once, I don't mind if I'm wrong.
Me either. I'd love Naturalism to win. Or...
22, 12th running of the international race. Now they're ready, they're racing, they're off. And they're away to a very good start too. User Friendly down on the inside, Naturalism away nicely. Behind those is Let's Elope. And the first out here towards the centre is Legacy World. Legacy World in front of the Japan Cup, and going up Hashiru Shogun is second, and third behind those Dr. Devious, User Friendly fourth. Moving up Yamamin Global, and Torquay Takeo is out very wide going out of the straight as User Friendly comes off the fence. Therefore came Hashiru Shogun. There followed a length and a half to Torquay Takeo, followed by Aquino Dictas on the inside of Naturalism. Yamamin Global out 3 deep, a length and a half further back, Verdamont, a half to Dear Doctor. 2 lengths further back, Let's Elope, fourth last from Let's Go Tarquin. The pace is very fast from the inside, Quest for Fame, and 4 lengths last of all, Hishi Masaru. They come off the back straight at the 1,000-metre mark in the Japan Cup. And the leader is Legacy World, about a half length in front. Second on the outside, Dr. Devious. They've got away 4 lengths in front of the filly from Great Britain, running third, and that is User Friendly, about 3 or 4 lengths further back in the field. Then came Naturalism, who's now gone to fourth. Over along the inside, then came Hishima Shogun. Further back in the field, then came Torquay Takeo, a length and a half to Aquino Dictas, Yamamin Global, Verdamont. Let's Elope back second last, followed further back by Hishima Saru as they come up to the bend, and the leader Legacy World. They're about to run for home in the Japan Cup, and Legacy World first for home. Here's User Friendly on the outside, Dr. Devious struggling. They're followed further back by under the whip at the head of the others, Naturalism, who's going back to the inside and starting to come home well as they come down with 300 metres to go. Naturalism got up on the inside, Torquay Takeo out wider on the track and swept up to it. Naturalism the inside, 200 out, Torquay Takeo, followed by Yamamin Global, Torquay Takeo and Naturalism, 100 to go. Torquay Takeo and Naturalism, Torquay Takeo, stride for stride from Dear Doctor, Torquay Takeo, and Torquay Takeo has won the cup ahead on the post of Naturalism. Third home of the race is Dear Doctor. They cleared out to Legacy World, who ran fourth, and there followed further back at the head of the others there by Hishi Masaru on the outside. Behind those, User Friendly, then Dr. Devious. Let's Elope never in the race from Aquino Dictas, Quest for Fame. Let's Go Tarquin behind those. Down near the tail of the field, the judge will call for the photo, but there is no doubt that Torquay Takeo has won the Japan Cup. Torquay Takeo with Naturalism fighting back on the inside. But Torquay Takeo has stayed the challenge from Naturalism. Down to the Torquay Takeo, the horse of the year of last year, has defeated Naturalism, who went back to the inside in the straight.
and all but got on terms with about 300 metres to go. 14, 7 and 9 for the 9. And there's the salute, an incredible sight of over 140,000 people. 140,000 roar for a Carby. As he trots down the track on his own, other runners leave the track now.
From everybody's point of view, Keith, Naturalism just failing, Let's Elope unfortunately bleeding, Mick Dittman producing one of the great rides. What a day it was.
Yes, put all that together, and that's exactly what the Japan Cup turned out to be, Bruce.
Absolute gems, no question about that. In fact, Keith rang me on Sunday night from Japan, so excited about your ride. The horse himself, did you feel going into the race with the hoof problem that he was going to be very much disadvantaged?
Well, I was worried early in the morning. Lee was quite worried about him. But, you know, once I got onto the track, he seemed to warm up okay. You know, I suppose when you think back, it would have to make a difference because he was quite lame early in the morning, but with the horse. And as soon as I saw Lee's face, I knew something was amiss. But they had him all taped up and they'd changed his shoe. But he'd had a crack in the heel and, you know, apparently the shoe was putting a fair bit of pressure on it. But he was lame right up until probably only a couple of hours before he went to the races. And
it's extraordinary, isn't it? Quite unbelievable that the horse could run so well with such a setback. Mick, let's go through. And what about from a riding point of view, Mick? We ride very close in Australia, probably closer than they do anywhere in the world. What about when you get a bunch of international riders from right around the world? Is there any change there?
Our racing's very, very competitive. It's a picnic over there.
Really?
Picnic.
Mick, as you get to the home turn, there's an area of the straight, it's called Heartbreak Hill, a 2-metre rise. You steadied Naturalism there and you went when it started to level out.
Well, I was just in behind the leaders as they turned the corner, and I had to hope that the leader shifted off the rail or that I got a split. And it came at the right time. When he dashed through, I thought he was going to win, but the winner joined me on the outside reasonably quickly and looked to have something in hand. But he fought back very strongly, this horse, and it was only in the last 50 metres that he started to get the best of me.
Give yourself so you're obviously within that final furlong, 200 metres, Mick, you fancied your chances right up until about 50 to go.
I thought with 100 metres to go that I'd kick back and beat him, but he just started to get the best of me in the last 50 metres of the race. Side reasonably quickly and looked to have something in hand. But he fought back very strongly, this horse, and it was only in the last 50 metres that he started to get the best of me.
Give yourself so you're obviously within that final furlong, 200 metres, Mick, you fancied your chances right up until about 50 to go.
I thought with 100 metres to go that I'd kick back and beat him, but he just started to get the best of me in the last 50 metres of the race.